And fans, the starting lineups for your High Point Rockers. Leading off, center fielder, number 65, Stephen Cardulo. Batting second, right fielder, number 29, Jared Mitchell. Batting third, third baseman, number 6, Hector Gomez. Batting cleanup, left fielder, number 22, Quincy Lattimore. Batting fifth, first baseman, number 8, Richie Schaefer.
As we roll into August, the High Point Rockers roll into another homestand. This time they roll in first place in the Liberty Division. Good evening, I'm Kendrick Fruits with you. Kevin McMahon out of town today and tomorrow, but he will be back on Thursday. But in the meantime, don't worry, we've got you covered. It's High Point Rockers baseball here from BB&T Point as they begin a 6-game homestand here tonight against the Sugar Land Skeeters. So here's what you've missed over the weekend. The Rockers were away in New York taking on the Long Island Ducks, and my goodness, what a weekend it was. The Rockers sweep the Ducks and flip-flop with them for first place. The Rockers lead by 2 games over Long Island. So the big thing of that series, first off, something that sticks out to me, Edwin Carl comes in after missing a little bit of time, pitches phenomenally, picks up a win. Jared Mitchell comes out and picks up his first hit as a High Point Rocker, and we'll get into him just a little bit more in a little bit. But another guy I want to mention, Stephen Cardulo, stays red hot, picks up his team leading at 17th home run of the year. And if you look at the High Point Rockers, or look at the Atlantic League home run totals, 4, 5, and 6 all belong to the Rockers. That's Cardulo, Schaefer, and Quincy Lattimore. We talk about the fact this team has a whole lot of power. They absolutely do. The guy who stands 1 in front of Cardulo, 3rd in the league, that's Dennis Phipps, and we'll see him tonight as he is the designated hitter for the Sugar Land Skeeters. But we don't want to get too far ahead of ourselves, and before we talk about tonight, let's go ahead and get a first-hand account of the weekend. We mentioned the fact that the Rockers picked up Jared Mitchell last week, a former Winston-Salem Dash, former Kannapolis Intimidator. He's a White Sox farmhand and spent plenty of time here in North Carolina. He was a Sugar Land Skeeter for earlier in this 2019 season, so we got a chance to talk to him earlier today and get some of his thoughts, not only on his time here in High Point, but just a little bit about his baseball journey in general. So here is Jared Mitchell. Hey, Rockers fans, Kendrick Fruits here with Jared Mitchell. And Jared, you're the newest addition to this High Point Rockers team, so just go ahead and give us a brief recap. What's your first week or so here been like?
It's been good, man. It's been easy to kind of try to get into the swing of things. It always helps when there's a really good clubhouse, of guys, and the coaching staff has been great. So it's made it an easy transition as opposed to, you can go to places where it's a little tougher with guys that are not as welcoming. So it's been good, man.
So over the weekend, you guys played the Long Island Ducks, one of the best teams in the league. Not only do you sweep the series, but you have a couple of really big hits too. So what does it feel like, coming in here the second half and realizing, this is a team that's in the middle of a big-time playoff push and you get to come through and contribute right away?
It's fun. That's what you're here for, to try to help the team win. Every day, that's what we all pretty much show up for, is to try to contribute in a way to help the team win that day. So here for that, playing hard for that, and just kind of keep pushing forward. It's always fun to be in it and be in a playoff race and have a chance to, keep playing further at the end of the year.
The Skeeters come in town today for a 3-game series. You played with them earlier on in the year, so just kind of a personal interest story. How's it feel like to go play against a bunch of guys you've been with a lot of times this year?
It'll be fun, dude. It's another game, but it's fun having the familiarity, I guess, on the other side of the ball, on the other side of the field today. But at the end of the day, they still got to throw strikes. We still got to hit. We still got to play defense, and we still got to pitch. So it's going to be the same game. I'm going to go out there with the same intensity and, try to do what I can, like I said earlier, to help this team win today. And that's really what it's all about.
Still trying to introduce the fans to you and vice versa a little bit. Obviously, you've spent some time playing ball in North Carolina. I remember as a fan watching you play with the Winston-Salem Dash. I saw you play there a few times. But just tell people a little bit about your baseball career so far.
Drafted by the White Sox. I made my professional debut in Kannapolis. So I've played in Kannapolis. I've played in Winston for a year. I've played in multiple years in Charlotte, so I'm kind of familiar with the area. Been in pro baseball since 2009, so I mean, here I am, still pushing, still going.
So since you got here, the High Point Rockers are undefeated. Obviously, I think you're the good luck charm. Would you agree?
I mean, something happened. I don't know what it was. I won't say it's myself, but something happened, so we'll just try to keep whatever it is going. I think we've been playing the same music in the clubhouse, so that's probably what it is.
All right, thanks, Jared.
All right, man, no problem.
That was Jared Mitchell. We appreciate him taking time to speak with us earlier this afternoon, and obviously a big addition to this High Point Rockers team. We'll see him in the lineup today. Again, he is in right field, and he's feeling pretty confident. Picked up a couple of hits Saturday, was 2 for 5 in that one, including a 2-run double. I believe that was his first hit with the High Point Rockers. So obviously a guy who we threw right into the thick of things, and he sure has responded in a really big way. So that's where the Rockers stand coming into tonight. How about the Sugarland Skeeters? We'll take a look at them and their road to getting here. Obviously, we saw them just a few weeks ago. In fact, it was the 25th, 26th, 27th, and 28th of July, just at the end of a little over a week ago. The Skeeters took 3 out of 4 in that series, and since then, they've been playing pretty good ball. They're 7-3 in their last 10. They did lose on Sunday, but they snapped that yesterday. They bounced back with a win yesterday. So they come into tonight with a record of 15-8. The Rockers come into tonight 13-11. But again, I mentioned a 6-game winning streak that started a week ago today with Michael Bowden's dominant performance. And wouldn't you know it, Michael Bowden back on the mound again tonight. And obviously, we'll take a look at his numbers as we go. But he's made 4 starts for the Rockers and boasts an ERA under 1 right now. And so a big part of the Rockers' success, I think, sits on the right arm of Michael Bowden right now. And you talk about a team that's getting ready to make a postseason push, and he's a guy who absolutely is going to be a big factor for that as long as he is here. He'll be taking the mound against Troy Scribner tonight, a guy that we saw in that 4-game series, and obviously we'll introduce you to more of these guys in depth as we go. But first off, taking a look through the lineups and seeing what stands out. Dennis Phipps, obviously the big designated hitter, 18 home runs for the Sugarland Skeeters this year, and he's going to be the guy in the cleanup spot that the Rockers are going to need to be careful with. The High Point Rockers have a new ball player today, the designated hitter, C.J. Rutherford, the former Chicago White Sox farmhand, is here now. We signed him earlier today, and this is a guy who's been in the Mexican leagues bouncing around since 2015. Before that, had played for the Long Island Ducks in 2014 for a handful of games. Before that, obviously, was in the minor league system with the Los Angeles Dodgers, bounced around with the Tigers and the Braves, but also spent some time here in North Carolina. He was a Charlotte Knight back in 2010 for 44 games, and he was a Winston-Salem Dash in 2008. Batted .295 that year, 16 home runs, 71 RBIs. He's going to be designated hitter tonight in the field. He can play all around the infield, usually at a corner position is where he spends a lot of his time. So what can we expect from C.J. Rutherford? You're going to get decent power numbers, nothing that's going to blow you away. But he'll be good for double-digit home runs, and he hits for good average, too. So certainly a guy to keep an eye on is our new guy, C.J. Rutherford. We're getting set for the national anthem, so we will head down to the field for that. And when we come back, we have lineups, and we will get ready here for High Point Rockers baseball on a nice Tuesday afternoon. We'll step aside for the national anthem.
Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, we ask that you please rise. And gentlemen, please remove your hats as we honor America and those who protect her both at home and abroad. And join us in the singing of our national anthem, performed tonight by Johanna English.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light, once so proudly we hailed at the twilight
Rockers fans, let's hear it for Johanna English.
Nice rendition there of the national anthem. Well done, well done. We will head now to check out the starting lineups here as the High Point Rockers take the field in their road blues again tonight. Again with the red and yellow lettering and trim. With the white pants, the Sugarland Skeeters, the gray pants with the black jerseys, a little bit of blue and I would say dark blue and white stripes across the front with the white lettering Sugarland across the chest. So let's see how the Skeeters line up tonight. Leading off in center field will be Anthony Giansanti. Winton Bernard, the left fielder, will bat second. Zach Borenstein in right field will bat third. Dennis Phipps, the designated hitter in the cleanup spot. Juan Silverio at third base will bat fifth. Jason Martinson at shortstop will hit the number 6 spot. DJ Peterson will play first and bat seventh. Javier Bentoncourt, the second baseman, hits eighth. And the catcher, Cody Stanley, will bat ninth. So let's take a look at Michael Bowden, the starting pitcher for your High Point Rockers today. Bowden, of course, has been nothing short of phenomenal since he arrived at High Point a couple of weeks ago. 1-0 on the year, 4 starts. This will be his fifth appearance as well. 0.98 earned run average, 29 strikeouts, just 2 walks. Almost a 15-to-1 ball-to-strike ratio. Absolutely phenomenal for Michael Bowden, and he's going to look to continue his incredible success from his last time out a week ago Tuesday. And if you don't remember what he did last Tuesday, I'll tell you, but my goodness, it was an absolutely phenomenal outing. As Giansanti, the right-handed hitter, steps in and Bowden kicks, and we are underway here at BB&T Point as the first pitch is up high, ball 1. So, again, last Tuesday, Bowden with an immaculate first inning, 9 pitches, 9 strikes, 3 strikeouts. This one's hit on the ground to shortstop. Alfonso picks it up, throws to first in time, 1 away. And that will bring up Winton Bernard, the left fielder. Bowden rode that momentum all the way into the 7th inning, pitched 6 2/3, and set a club record with 12 strikeouts in a game. And so that is the tall order that he has to build off of tonight. And here's the first pitch to Bernard. Corners expecting bunt. Bernard takes in there for a strike. He's a .279 hitter, a home run, and 12 runs batted in. Your game time temperature, 85 degrees. It'll drop down to about 80, maybe a tick below as he swings and fouls this one off. Count is 0-2. Partly cloudy skies tonight, but we shouldn't expect any rain, although there have been a couple of pop-up showers in the area today, but we should be good to go. So the count 0-2 on Bernard. Bowden kicks and deals. Swung on, it's poked to second. Schroeder picks it up. I thought he had it, and he didn't realize the ball squeaked in between his legs there. It was a soft line drive, and Schroeder was there. Caught it with his glove, the backside of the glove, resting on the ground. I think it's going to be an error on Schroeder.
Right fielder, number 17, Zach Borenstein.
And it is. As that ball kind of trickled between his legs after it left his glove. Here comes Zach Borenstein, .251 hitter. Here's a check over to Bernard at first base. Borenstein has some power, 13 home runs, 47 driven in. So the Rockers' infield goes from protecting against the bunt to setting up for at least some sort of a double play. Schroeder's playing Borenstein to pull. And that pitch just missing, ball 1. We'll set the Rockers defensively for you here. Left to right in the outfield, it's Quincy Lattimore in left. Stephen Cardulo gets the call in center field. And Jared Mitchell is in right. He's been the right fielder every game since joining the Rockers last Wednesday morning. Bowden holds the set, now delivers the 1-0 swing and a miss in the count 1-1. Around the infield, Hector Gomez is at third base. Giovanni Alfonso, the shortstop. Miles Schroeder plays second, first base Richie Schaefer, Matt Jones behind the dish, and again we mentioned Michael Bowden is on the bump tonight. So we're just underway here at BB&T Point. Here's the 1-1. Bornstein swings, hits this one to high, and it's going to drift out of play, bouncing off of a couple of seats over the third base side in the count 1-2. We mentioned the fact that we're under partly cloudy skies here tonight. Stadium lights already on. We started a little late today, 7 o'clock start time, but again, we talk about how quickly the Atlantic League games go, so nobody expects that to be much of a big deal. Runner goes. Here's the pitch inside. The throw down for Jones is a good throw. Just getting under the throw is Bernard. Giovanni Alfonso, the shortstop, thought he had him in time. It's a good throw by Matt Jones, maybe a touch high. That's a stolen base for Winton Bernard. And the Skeeters have a runner on second. For Bernard, that is his 6th stolen base of the year. So here's the 2-2 to Bornstein with the dangerous Dennis Phipps on deck. And here's the pitch, just down low. And the count is full. Rockers have won 6 in a row the last 3 games of the Blue Crab series, and they swept the then first place Long Island Ducks over the weekend to assume first place themselves. We'll take a look at the standings later on in the game. Point being, this is a red-hot baseball team right now. Here's the 3-2 to Bornstein. Swung on. This is lined into center field. Giving chase as Cardulo makes the catch. And Bernard will tag up and head to third easily. So 2 outs now and a runner on third base in the top of the inning for Dennis Phipps, the cleanup hitter.
The DH, number 29.
Phipps, a dangerous hitter,
Phipps.
Former major leaguer. In 2012, spent a little time with the Cincinnati Reds, just a handful of games. Hit 300, though, hit a home run and 2 runs driven in as a Cincinnati Red in those 8 games. First pitch to him is a strike. 243 hitter, 18 home runs. We mentioned that's 3rd in the Atlantic League, 50 runs batted in. Something you'll notice about these Sugarland Skeeter hitters, not a lot of batting average to them, but they've all got some good production numbers. Here's the pitch, a big swing by Phipps, and the count 0-2. Michael Bowden looking to strand Bernard where he stands over there at third base. He's quickly got Phipps in the hole 0-2. Bowden looks over at Bernard, the runner at third, now comes set. And here's the 0-2 to Phipps. Swung on and fouled back to the screen. We'll do the 0-2 again. Everybody in action tonight across the Atlantic League. Only a pair of games yesterday. As we're in the last full month of the Atlantic League season. Regular season, I believe, ends the 22nd of September. Still plenty of chances to get out and see your High Point Rockers in action, including some good promos here in this 6-game homestand. Here's the 0-2. That's inside. Phipps has to back out of the way in the count 1-2. Bowden toes the rubber, gets the sign from catcher Matt Jones. Now comes set. Here's the 0-2. Excuse me, the 1-2. It's down low. Was trying to get Phipps to chase the off-speed pitch and did not do so. Other games tonight, of course, they've all just begun recently. Patriots and Revolution, Ducks and Blue Crabs, and the Bees and Barnstormers all underway. Bowden set. Here's the pitch. Phipps skies this one up out of play over the first base side. That ball still hasn't come down yet. And the count stays 2 balls, 2 strikes. So runner on third base, a chance for the Skeeters early. And Bowden looking to leave him there. He's an unearned run if he does score. You reached on the error. And here's the pitch, and Phipps battling hard at the plate, fouls this one back again. And the count remains 2-2. The Rockers, one of the better defensive teams in the Atlantic League. No stretch out of the imagination where, I mean, it certainly is feasible to see them go 3 or 4 games without an error. Obviously made one early today as this pitch is down and away. Phipps holds up and the count goes full. He's really battled Bowden here, fouling off some really tough pitches. And the count has now gone full. Bowden steps off the rubber, obviously wants to be really careful. Although Silverio, the number 5 hitter on deck, he's got quite a bit of power himself. You can be careful with Phipps, but it doesn't necessarily get any easier. Here's the 3-2 from Bowden. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Got him on the off-speed pitch, down and away. So Michael Bowden comes in and leaves the runner stranded at third. And we're going to head now to the bottom of the first inning. No score here. You're listening to High Point Rockers Baseball.
Rockers fans, who's ready for
Hi, this is Emily.
This is Lindsay.
And this is Elizabeth.
Co-hosts of Beauties and Headcanons here on Public House Media. Thanks for listening to the following broadcast on Public House Media.
Once you are done with this episode, we hope you'll come check out our show, Beauties and Headcanons, where we talk nerdy to you about fandoms, fan fiction, and all pop culture for nerds that you can think of. A new show comes out every Friday.
Don't forget to subscribe on iTunes so you never miss an episode of Beauties and Headcanons. Thanks again for checking out the following broadcast on Public House Media.
This is Jenna Burt, host of the Confessions of a Military Spouse podcast here on Public House Media. Thanks for listening to the following broadcast on Public House Media. Once you're done with this episode, I hope you'll come check out my show, Confessions of a Military Spouse, where we dig deep and talk about the unspoken hard truths of what it's really like to be a military spouse. A new show comes out bi-weekly. Don't forget to subscribe on iTunes so you never miss an episode of Confessions of a Military Spouse. Thanks again for checking out the following broadcast on Public House Media.
This is Jessica Hammer, co-host of Crowned and Dangerous here on Public House Media. Thanks for listening to the following broadcast on Public House Media. Once you are done with this episode, I hope you'll come check out my show, Crowned and Dangerous, where Maddie and I talk about all things pageant related, especially our experiences in the Miss America organization. A new show comes out bi-weekly, every other Thursday. Don't forget to subscribe on iTunes so you never miss an episode of Crowned and Dangerous. Thanks again for checking out the following broadcast on Public House Media.
Bottom of the first inning, we'll go ahead and set the lineup for the High Point Rockers today. Leading off, they've got Steven Cardulo, the center fielder. Jared Mitchell, the right fielder, will bat second. Hector Gomez at third base hits third. And Quincy Lattimore, the left fielder, will bat cleanup tonight. Richie Schaefer at first base bats fifth. The new Rockers, C.J. Rutherford, sixth spot. And, of course, we'll continue to introduce him as the night goes on. Miles Schroeder at second base will bat seventh. Matt Jones, the catcher, hits eighth. And Giovanni Alfonso, the shortstop, will bat ninth. As the first pitch from Troy Scribner to Cardulo is upstairs, ball one. Troy Scribner, a guy with major league experience, spent a little bit of time with the Angels and the Diamondbacks as Cardulo swings and lofts this one out of play. Way out of play, as it turns out. That one would have been a home run had it stayed fair. And the count 1-1. 2-2 record for Scribner in the major leagues with a 4.28 ERA. He's 3-3 this year with the Skeeters, and Cardulo takes strike one on the inside part of the plate. 65 strikeouts in 69 innings for Scribner. The Rockers saw him in the last series. And here's the 1-2 to Cardulo. It's a curveball. He's way out in front, swing and a miss, strike three for the first out of the inning. We talked about the fact that Cardulo has been swinging a red-hot bat as of late. over the weekend took the team lead in home runs with 17. Here's Jared Mitchell, another new High Point Rocker. He joined the team on Wednesday. Check swing there, and the count 0-1. Mitchell on the season. Well, he swings at this one, hits this one high in the air to left center field, going back to the track, and making a over-the-shoulder catch is Winton Bernard. Was fighting the sun a little bit there, but Bernard makes the catch for out number 2. We were mentioning Mitchell, a former Sugar Land Skeeter, hit 258 there. He's hitting 200 here in High Point in his first handful of games. Here's Hector Gomez, 286 hitter, 4 home runs, and 45 driven in. And Scribner working quickly, rocks and fires that one in there, strike 1. Rockers seem to have gotten their offense going some, going back to last week. That pitch misses 1-1. Still not a team that's putting up, 8, 9, 10 runs a game, but certainly a team that can put up 5 or 6, and they have the pitching to make that stand up as Gomez fouls this one off and out of play, and the count is now 1-2. Scribner kicks and deals. Here's a curveball that likely slipped out of his hand a little bit as it stays well high, and the count 2-2 now to Gomez. Cleanup hitter Quincy Lattimore on deck. And Scribner will kick and deal. Another curveball. Gomez gets it off the end of the bat. It's a soft ground ball to third base, rather. Silverio picks it up, throws across the diamond to first base. And the Rockers are retired 1-2-3 in the first inning. We head to the second. Still no score. This is High Point Rockers baseball.
This is Jenna Burt, host of the Confessions of a Military Spouse podcast here on Public House Media. Thanks for listening to the following broadcast on Public House Media. Once you're done with this episode, I hope you'll come check out my show, Confessions of a Military Spouse, where we dig deep and talk about the unspoken hard truths of what it's really like to be a military spouse. A new show comes out bi-weekly. Don't forget to subscribe on iTunes so you never miss an episode of Confessions of a Military Spouse. Thanks again for checking out the following broadcast on Public House Media.
Your final answer?
This is Jessica Hammer, co-host of Crowned and Dangerous here on Public House Media. Thanks for listening to the following broadcast on Public House Media. Once you are done with this episode, I hope you'll come check out my show, Crowned and Dangerous, where Maddie and I talk about all things pageant related, especially our experiences in the Miss America organization. A new show comes out bi-weekly, every other Thursday. Don't forget to subscribe on iTunes so you never miss an episode of Crowned and Dangerous. Thanks again for checking out the following broadcast on Public House Media.
This is Madeline, host of Crowned and Dangerous here on Public House Media. Thanks for listening to the following broadcast on Public House Media. Once you are done with this episode, I hope you'll come back to check out my show, Crowned and Dangerous, where Jessica and I talk about our time in the pageant world. A new show comes out bi-weekly on Thursdays. Don't forget to subscribe on iTunes so you never miss an episode of Crowned and Dangerous. Thanks again for checking out the following broadcast on Public House Media.
Top of the second inning, no score here from BB&T Point. Rockers and Skeeters kicking off a 3-game series as the Rockers begin a 6-game homestand. The back half of this series will be against the York Revolution, who've had a fantastic start to their second half. They're in first place in the Freedom Division, just barely though, with the Skeeters breathing down their necks. Here is Juan Silverio to lead off here in the second. Way behind, a defensive swing there on Bowden's fastball, and the count 0-1. It'll be Silverio, Martinson, and Peterson as Bowden kicks and deals. There's another fastball that's even higher than the first, and Silverio holds off, and the count 1-1. Silverio, a 280 hitter, 10 home runs, 44 driven in. He's been swinging a hot bat recently. as he fouls this one back to the screen 1-2. When the Rockers last saw him, his average was at 270, so in a week he brought it up 10 points. Skeeters 7-3 in their last game. We talked about the fact that they're chasing the Revolution. They're 9-1 in their last 10 games. They've been playing lights out baseball in their own right. As Silverio hits this one high into right field, it's down the line. Racing over and not being able to make the catch is Mitchell. Looked like he was going to have to lay out if he had a chance for it, but I don't think he was even going to get there had he done so. So that ball bounces foul, and the count 1-2. Silverio works his way back to the batter's box. He just gets there now. Sun's been peeking out over the clouds for the last half inning or so. Left field is predominantly in shadows. The entire infield is. Right field and center field, mostly the sunny spots, although it extends into the gap at left center field, so Lattimore will have some issues running towards center field. This one's lined into center field, right at Cardulo, though, and he will make the catch for out number 1. Brings up Jason Martinson, the shortstop.
The shortstop, number 25.
Martinson, a guy who has put up some good power numbers, 12 home runs. Again, falls in line with what we've said about the rest of this team with not a whole lot of average, 231 to be exact. But it seems like this is a lineup that 1 through 9 is capable of a little bit of pop if the moment calls for it. That one in there, a called strike, and the count 0-1. Top of the second inning, no score. Rockers and Skeeters here. And Bowden deals the 0-1. He's got Martinson chasing that curveball out of the zone, and the count 0-2. Talked about those promotions for the rest of the homestand. As another curveball, Martinson chasing this one as well. Strike 3. Second strikeout of the game for Michael Bowden. So not on the record-setting pace as he was last Tuesday, but putting up some good numbers so far through the first inning and 2/3. He looks sharp out there.
First baseman, number 23, DJ Peterson.
DJ Peterson, the first baseman, steps in. Today, of course, Taco Tuesday and National Night Out. As Peterson takes down low ball 1. Tomorrow, camp day. Reminder that we will be on the air just before 11 o'clock tomorrow morning as Peterson skies this one in the infield. Calling for it and making the catch is Richie Schaefer at first base for the final out of the inning. So 1-2-3, top of the second for Michael Bowden. We head to the bottom of the third, still no score, as the Rockers and Skeeters look to see who draws first blood here tonight.
Row of honor, located in section 104.
Bobby, host of How to Write Good here on Public House Media. I just want to thank you for listening to the following broadcast brought to you by Public House Media. Once you're done with this episode, I hope that you'll come check out my show, How to Write Good, the writing show that is not about writing. A new show of How to Write Good comes out every Wednesday, so don't forget to subscribe on iTunes so you never miss an episode of How to Write Good. Again, thanks for checking out the following broadcast on Public House Media.
This is Rachel Mullins, host of #NoFilterFriday here on Public House Media. Thanks for listening to the following broadcast on Public House Media. Once you're done with this episode, I hope you'll come check out my new show, #NoFilterFriday, where we talk about all of the sexual misconduct allegations swirling around Hollywood. A new show drops every Friday at 8:30 Pacific Standard Time. Don't forget to subscribe on iTunes so you'll never miss an episode of #NoFilterFriday. Thanks again for checking out the following broadcast on Public House Media.
What's up, everybody? This is Christian Heimel, host of Press Row here on Public House Media. Thanks for listening to the following broadcast on Public House Media. Once you're done with this episode, I hope you'll come check out my show, Press Row, where we talk about the biggest issues in sports with the analysts, experts, and reporters who cover them. No nonsense, hard-hitting interviews on the sports topics you're talking about. A new show comes out every single Thursday. And don't forget to subscribe on iTunes so you never miss an episode of Press Row. Thanks again for checking out the following broadcast on Public House Media.
Number 22, Quincy Lattimore.
Bottom of the second inning, Quincy Lattimore leads things off for the Rockers. It'll be Lattimore, Schaefer, and the new rocker, C.J. Rutherford. Troy Scribner deals. First pitch, Lattimore swinging, hits a one-hopper to third. Silverio picks it up, and the throw is in time, out number one. So one pitch, one out for Scribner. Brings up Richie Schaefer, who up until about this time last week had the team lead in home runs. But then Steven Cardullo went on a hot streak, and he's taken that from Schaefer with authority. That pitch in there, called strike. Schaefer does have 16 on the year, 40 driven in. And that one in there, called strike. Count 0-2. Scribner rocks and deals. This one to Schaefer. Strike three. All three pitches about knee high. And Schaefer watched the last two of them for strike three. So that will bring up the new rocker, C.J. Rutherford. Designated hitter tonight. Be wearing number 35. He's a right-handed hitter, and his first pitch he sees as a High Point Rocker is a called strike. We mentioned Rutherford, a Chicago White Sox farmhand for a time. Also Tigers, Braves, and Dodgers. Takes a big swing there. And the count 0-2. Has been playing ball in Mexico since 2015. He's got above average power, and he hits pretty well in terms of average, too, as he fouls this one off defensively, and the count is 0-2. He's a guy that, across his big league, or his professional career, I should say, good for anywhere between 270 and a 300 average, so very professional hitter. Scribner deals the 0-2 swing and a missed strike three. And so it's 6 up, 6 down for Troy Scribner to start this game tonight. We head now to the third inning. We're still scoreless. This is High Point Rockers baseball.
Hi, this is Peggy Rojas, host of Viviendo una Vida en Balance here at Public House Media. Thanks for listening to the following broadcast on Public House Media. Once you're done with this episode, I hope you can come back and check my show, Viviendo una Vida en Balance, where we talk about life hacks to live a life in balance. And the show's in Spanish. A new show comes out every Monday, so don't forget to subscribe on iTunes and share with your friends. Again, thank you for checking out the following broadcast in Public House Media.
This is Dr. Mariah White, host of Your Life Matters, here on Public House Media. Thanks for listening to the following broadcast on Public House Media. Once you are done with this episode, I hope you'll come check out my show, Your Life Matters, where we talk about dreaming big and dreaming bold to reach your wildest dreams in both your health and your happiness. A new show comes out every single Tuesday. Don't forget to subscribe on iTunes so you'll never miss an episode of Your Life Matters. Thanks again for checking out the following broadcast on Public House Media.
Top of the third inning, still scoreless here at BB&T Point. The Rockers and Skeeters still looking to see who will scratch the scoreboard first. So for Sugarland, it'll be Betancourt, Stanley, and Giansanti. That's 8-9 and going back around to the top of the lineup for Michael Bowden. We are coming up on about 30 minutes into this game, and we're moving at a pretty quick pace. We sound surprised every time we say that. It's just part of the way the league rules are set up, and Bowden works quickly, and it's good for pitchers who like to work quickly as he deals strike one to Javier Betancourt. 196 hitter, no home runs, 5 driven in. And here is the 0-1. It's a fastball spiked in the turf. Good snag there by the catcher, Matt Jones, and the count is 1-1. We like to talk about the major leaguers or guys with major league experience on both clubs. And here's the 1-1. Swung on, and that's hit in the air to left center field. Back goes Lattimore, back goes Cardulo. Can either one get to it? Lattimore makes a nice over-the-shoulder catch as he heads into the alleyway for out number 1. A fine running catch there for Quincy Lattimore for out number 1. I'll bring up Cody Stanley, the catcher.
Number 12.
Finishing that thought, we talk about, the guys who have major league experience, the Steven Cardulos and the Dennis Phipps, the Hector Gomez's, but quite a bit of experience on the bench for the Sugarland Skeeters. As the first pitch to Cody Stanley in there called strike. Pete Incaviglia, the manager, big-time slugger for the Texas Rangers, hit 30 home runs in his rookie season for Texas, as that pitch to Stanley about shoulder high, misses ball 1. And the count 1-1. And Dan Runsler, the pitching coach, had a 6 or 7 major league career. 6 or 7 game major league career, I should say. Here's the 1-1 to Stanley. And that one misses ball 2. Here's the pitch. Swung on, and that's hit high in the air to shallow left field. In comes Lattimore, and will make the catch out number 2. So it's the Quincy Lattimore show here in the third inning. He's put away both hitters in this frame. We'll go back around to the top of the lineup. Anthony Giansanti, who bounced out to Alfonso at short in his first time up. Bowden asking for a new baseball, flips the old one underhanded towards the Rockers' dugout. And home plate umpire Thomas Newsom gives Bowden a new one. Here is the first pitch to Giansanti. Swung on and fouled up out of play over the third base side. Bowden up nearing 40 pitches. Scribner, on the other hand, is just over 20. In fact, he's actually at 19 right now, working very economically as that pitch swung on and missed, and the count 0-2 now to Giansanti. Bowden kicks and deals. Here's the 0-2, swung on, and that's a line drive foul down the third base side. Count stays 0-2. Other games, how about the bottom of the third inning? The Somerset Patriots lead the York Revolution 8-1 already. They've had a big game there. Nash hit his 30th home run. That's right, 30th home run off of Rick Teasley earlier in that game for the Revolution. But the Somerset Patriots, Ullman hit his 8th, Martinez hit his 1st. And they're pouring it on as that pitch misses down 1-2 to Alfonso. Here is the 1-2 now from Bowden. This one's looped into center field. It's going to get over Schroeder's head, base hit. And that is the first hit of the ball game for either side tonight. So a 2-out single for Anthony Giansanti will bring up Winton Bernard, who reached via error in the first inning and stole a base as well. Other games, Southern Maryland with a 1-0 lead over the Ducks. They are in the bottom of the fourth inning. Corey Vaughn, his 16th home run of the year. And the Lancaster Barnstormers lead the New Britain Bees by a tally of 3-0 in the second. As the first pitch to Bernard down low. Devon Torrance home run. Caleb Gindel, his 13th home run. And a base hit by Anderson De La Rosa. So that gives the Barnstormers a 3-0 lead in that one. Here at BB&T Point, there's a runner on first base with 2 outs. And a 1-0 count to Bernard as Bowden looking to put up the third straight scoreless frame for him. That one in there, called strike. He's just been absolutely phenomenal. You really can't put words to it. His ERA here in High Point, remember, this is his fifth start, is at 0.86. He's given up 2 earned runs here as a member of the High Point Rockers. One of those came in a 2-inning start, and his first appearance here obviously was on a reduced pitch count. So take that one out of the equation. He's pitched 4 or more innings in all the rest of his appearances, and he's given up 1 run other than that in all those innings. That pitch, a swing and a miss in the count, is 1-2. Giansanti takes his lead off of first base. Bowden 1 strike away from getting out of the third. This one's hit on the ground. Nice diving play from Gomez. Gets up from his knees to throw on to first in time. Excellent job there, Hector Gomez, taking away what could have been an extra base hit from Winton Bernard. We head to the bottom half of the third inning. You're listening to High Point Rockers Baseball.
This is Dr. Mariah White, host of Your Life Matters, here on Public House Media. Thanks for listening to the following broadcast on Public House Media. Once you are done with this episode, I hope you'll come check out my show, Your Life Matters, where we talk about dreaming big and dreaming bold to reach your wildest dreams in both your health and your happiness. A new show comes out every single Tuesday. Don't forget to subscribe on iTunes so you'll never miss an episode of Your Life Matters. Thanks again for checking out the following broadcast on Public House Media.
This is Bryce Burge, host of Your Soccer Passport here on Public House Media. After this episode, come join us on a trip around the soccer world as we discuss club and country every Tuesday. Stamp your soccer passport by subscribing on Spotify, iTunes, or wherever you get your Public House Media podcasts. And thanks again for checking out the following broadcast on Public House Media.
Bottom of the third inning, the Rockers and Skeeters still scoreless as we head to the bottom of the third. As I just mentioned, Rockers have 7, 8, 9 coming up. We'll take a look at the standings here as Miles Schroeder steps up to the plate.
Leading off for the Rockers, second baseman.
As things are certainly getting interesting, I should say, here in the second half of the season. We mentioned the Rockers in first place. After winning 6 in a row, the Ducks have lost 3 in a row coming into today. And the New Britain Bees below them have lost 5 in a row. That went in there for a called strike. And the count 0-1. So the Rockers at 13 and 11. The Long Island Ducks in second place, 10 and 12. 2 games under. That one misses, count 1-1. You find the Bees at 7 and 15. The Patriots 7 and 16. So obviously still a lot of baseball left, but Schroeder fouls that one off, count 1-2. It seems like the Rockers and the Ducks are certainly trying to distance themselves in the Liberty Division. Freedom Division could certainly be interesting as well. Here's the pitch to Schroeder. Hits this one weakly on the ground to Silverio. Backhands it, throws on to first in time for out number 1, and that'll bring up Matt Jones. The Freedom Division, the York Revolution, 18 and 5. My goodness, they've been red hot. They've won 8 in a row. Winning percentage of .783. Skeeters 3 games behind them. Of course, they have a little pressure taken off of them, considering the fact that they have won a playoff spot or clinched a playoff spot, courtesy of winning their division in the first half. The Blue Crabs 5.5 back at 12 and 10 as Jones swings, hits this one high in the air to center. And there to make the catch is Giansanti for out number 2. And that brings up Giovanni Alfonso, the number 9 hitter. And then the Barnstormers round out that division 9 and 14. They're already 9 games out of first place, as Freedom Division teams just finding it hard to keep up with the pace the York Revolution have set here in the early part of this second half. Rockers will face the Revolution for 3 games after the Skeeters leave town. So the end of this 6-game homestand could be absolutely crucial. Here is Giovanni Alfonso in their called strike. Alfonso hitting at .223, no home runs, 18 driven in, and you got to give Alfonso a lot of credit. His bat has really started to come around recently, raising his average up somewhere in the neighborhood of 20 points as that pitch down low 1-1. Alfonso swings and lofts this one up out of play. Alfonso swings, rips this one into center field. That'll get down. Could be extra bases. A nice play by Giansanti to cut that one off. The throw to second, not in time. And Giovanni Alfonso, a 2-out double. He keeps the hot hitting alive. Thought that one was going to get to the wall and be an easy double, but Giansanti dove and caught it on a hop. A risky play, but comes with a lot of reward as they almost get Giovanni Alfonso at second base.
Number 65, Stephen Cardulo.
Rockers head back around to the top of the lineup. It's Stephen Cardulo. Cardulo struck out in his first at-bat. And here's the pitch. Swung on, and that's hit on the ground to third. Silverio picks it up, takes his time. The throw on to first base is in time, and that's it in the third inning. So the Rockers get their first hit. It's a double by Giovanni Alfonso, but not able to get anything out of it as we head now to the top of the fourth inning. Still scoreless here at High Point. This is High Point Rockers Baseball.
This is Liz Colburn, host of the Morning Uplift here on Public House Media. Thanks for listening to the following broadcast on Public House Media. Once you are done with this episode, I hope you'll come back and check out my show, The Morning Uplift, where we talk about finding your beauty in the journey. A new show comes out twice a month on the first and third Mondays. Don't forget to subscribe on iTunes so you never miss an episode of The Morning Uplift. Thank you again for checking out the following broadcast on Public House Media.
Thank you for your support, Abu Rug.
Hi, this is Peggy Rojas, host of Viviendo una Vida en Balance here at Public House Media. Thanks for listening to the following broadcast on Public House Media. Once you're done with this episode, I hope you can come back and check my show, Viviendo una Vida en Balance, where we talk about life hacks to live a life in balance. And this show's in Spanish. A new show comes out every Monday, so don't forget to subscribe on iTunes and share with your friends. Again, thank you for checking out the following broadcast in Public House Media.
Top of the fourth inning, no score here from BB&T Point. Again, the standings being put up on the YouTube stream right now. You see the Rockers with that 1.5 game lead over the Ducks. Bees and Patriots 5 back. We talk about the fact that the Somerset Patriots right now are absolutely destroying the York Revolution. They've just padded their lead again. Will Kinger has just hit a home run. It's 10-1. In that one. So those are who the Rockers were fighting with for the wild card in the Somerset Patriots, but they're struggling out of the gate here. You see where the Revolution and the Skeeters atop of the Freedom Division as well, and obviously we want to give a big shout out to our guys in the control room for getting that graphic put up for us. Zach Borenstein will lead things off for the Sugarland Skeeters. And the first pitch from Michael Bowden swung on and fouled up out of play, and the count is 0-1. Borenstein, in his first time up, flied out to center field. Still no score here, top of the fourth. And Bowden deals swing and a miss. Got Borenstein to chase the pitch down low, 0-2. Just one hit per side right now as we approach the middle stages of this game, still scoreless. Sun starting to set a little bit, the entire field in shadow now. And here is the pitch, swung on and just got a piece of it. And the count 0-2. Seems like just about every day has a possibility for a pitcher's duel here. We talk about how good the Rockers pitching staff is, and Scribner and Bowden treating us to a good one tonight. Here's the 0-2 to Borenstein. Swung on and fouls this one off out of play. Count 0-2. So after Borenstein will be Dennis Phipps, the cleanup man, as that off-speed pitch just missing inside, 1-2. And then Juan Silverio, the third baseman. He's had a busy night in the field, has Silverio. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Borenstein couldn't connect with the off-speed pitch. And that will be out number 1 for Bowden. That is his third strikeout of the game, and that'll bring up Dennis Phipps, who was the first strikeout victim.
The DH, number 29, Dennis Phipps.
Phipps, again, we mentioned the former Cincinnati Red. He's got a Major League home run to his credit. He's been one of the big power hitters throughout the course of this season. Takes strike 1. And here is the 0-1 from Bowden. Swing and a miss. Phipps chasing the pitch down and away. And the count 0-2. Michael Bowden right now coming into this inning is just at 50 pitches, a little bit over 50 pitches. Fastball, strike 3. They're going to ring up Dennis Phipps. He was trying to get out of the way of that one, or at least make it, make it look like it was inside. But Michael Bowden knows exactly where the inside part of that plate is and buzzes that fastball with perfect accuracy in there, strike 3, and that'll bring up Juan Silverio, who flied out to center field his first time up. Bowden kicks and deals, curveball in there, strike 1, count 0-1. We talk about how quickly the games go when both pitchers are getting through the innings with minimal traffic, as this one's popped up in the infield and should do it here. In comes third baseman Gomez. In comes the shortstop Alfonso, and Alfonso will make the catch for the final out of the inning. Well, 1, 2, 3 innings certainly help you in attaining a speedy game. We go to the bottom of the 4th, and the High Point Rockers trying to score first, as it's still anybody's game. No score. This is High Point Rockers baseball.
What's up, everybody? This is Christian Heimel, host of Press Row here on Public House Media. Thanks for listening to the following broadcast on Public House Media. Once you're done with this episode, I hope you'll come check out my show, Press Row, where we talk about the biggest issues in sports with the analysts, experts, and reporters who cover them. No nonsense, hard-hitting interviews on the sports topics you're talking about. A new show comes out every single Thursday. And don't forget to subscribe on iTunes so you never miss an episode of Press Row. Thanks again for checking out the following broadcast on Public House Media.
4.
What's up, everybody? This is Christian Heimel, host of Press Row here on Public House Media. Thanks for listening to the following broadcast on Public House Media. Once you're done with this episode, I hope you'll come check out my show, Press Row, where we talk about the biggest issues in sports with the analysts, experts, and reporters who cover them. No nonsense, hard-hitting interviews on the sports topics you're talking about. A new show comes out every single Thursday. And don't forget to subscribe on iTunes so you never miss an episode of Press Row. Thanks again for checking out the following broadcast on Public House Media.
This is Julianne Condia, host of Rewritten here on Public House Media. Thank you so much for listening to the following broadcast on Public House Media. Once you are done with this episode, I hope you'll come check out my show, Rewritten, where we will talk about you having limitless potential and can rewrite your story at any time. No matter your background, your past, or current situation, you can have the type of life you crave. A new show comes out every single Monday. Don't forget to subscribe on iTunes so you never miss an episode of Rewritten. Thanks again for checking out the following broadcast on Public House.
Jared Mitchell steps in, first pitch in there for a strike. As we are underway here in the bottom of the first inning, or fourth inning rather, that pitch misses down low. Rockers and Skeeters still in a scoreless tie as Scribner deals this one way up. And the count now 3 balls, no strikes. Did a little digging earlier today and thought we'd have a little fun with this day in baseball history, August 6th. It's a busy day. As that pitch in there, just missed ball 4. Looked good from up here. And it's a 4-pitch walk for Jared Mitchell, the first walk today issued by either starting pitcher. And for the Rockers, just their second base runner. This will bring up Hector Gomez, who bounced out to third his first time up. So this day in baseball history, we're going to go all the way back to 1890 for our first one. As that one to Gomez is upstairs. A young rookie pitcher named Cy Young makes his major league debut and picks up the win with the Cleveland Spiders. Of course, Young would go on to not only win 511 games, a major league high, but has the award for the best pitcher in both leagues named after him, as the off-speed pitch for Hector Gomez in there for a strike and the count 1-1. Then 1973, kind of a more somber note, the waiting period to be elected to the Hall of Fame is waived, and Roberto Clemente is posthumously named to the Hall of Fame this date, 1973. Of course, the Pittsburgh Pirates star tragically lost his life in a plane accident. But Clemente would become the first Latin American player to be elected to the Hall of Fame, as that one is fouled off and snagged barehanded by a player in the Sugarland dugout. Nice play there. Count 1-2. And lastly, in 1999, Tony Gwynn, the Hall of Famer, 3,000th hit today in 1999 off of Expo rookie Dan Smith. So those are your big this day in baseball history. Of course, there's an extra one that Atlanta Braves fans would be interested to know. First, the 1-2 to Gomez. He swings and fouls this one out of play. August 6, 2013, the Atlanta Braves retire Tom Glavine's number 47. Of course, Glavine part of that big 3 rotation for Atlanta in the 1990s. Glavine, Maddox, and Smoltz, and throughout the 90s would be accompanied by Avery, Nagel, and Millwood. As Gomez fouls that one off, it was upstairs, but he took a hack at it anyways and got a piece, count 1-2. So that is today in baseball history. No score here, bottom of the 4th inning. Jared Mitchell, the runner on first base, he got there via walk. Here's the 1-2, it's a curveball, and Gomez again fights it off. And the count is still 1-2. The top of the 5th inning, we'll go ahead and finish up the promotional calendar. We started that and began to explore what's going on in the rest of the 6-game homestand, and the quick pace of this game had us cut that off a little early, so we'll finish that in the next half inning. Here's the 1-2 to Gomez. He swings and rips this one foul. Would have been a sure double had it stayed fair, but as it made its way down the line, it kept hooking foul. Quincy Lattimore, cleanup hitter, waits on deck. Scribner comes set, looks in now. And here is the 1-2 again, and Gomez out in front pokes this into shallow center field. Could be trouble, but it's caught by Giansanti. I thought maybe for a moment it would be hit short enough to bloop in, but Giansanti is there to make the catch for out number 1.
Left fielder.
And that will bring up Quincy Lattimore. Lattimore bounced out to third his first time up. Scribner just over 40 pitches. Nice at-bat there by by Gomez, and the walk to Mitchell have certainly helped bring that number up as the first pitch to Lattimore is inside ball 1. .42 pitches, 31 strikes for Scribner. Bowden impressive as well, 57 pitches, 42 for strikes, as that one is a strike of the knees, count 1-1. Here's the pitch. Runner goes. That pitch head high. The throw down to second is a good throw by the catcher Cody Stanley, and they pick Jared Mitchell on the stolen base. That's out number 2. It was a good jump by Mitchell, and I think that pitch from Scribner, although it was head high and Lattimore had to get out of the way, it got to the plate quick enough that they were able to throw out Jared Mitchell. Here's the pitch. Check swing. Lattimore is called, though, for a strike. They're going to say he went around. He turned back and just confirmed that with the home plate umpire. And the count now 2-2 to Lattimore. Scribner deals, and he swings and hits this one on the ground to short. Martinson picks it up, throws on to first. It's a low throw, but a good scoop there at first base by Peterson, and that will do it for the Rockers in the 4th inning. So we're just breezing right along here. Still no score. This is High Point Rockers baseball.
May I have your attention, please? If you own a teal Chevy Traverse with the North Carolina
This is John Lauder, host of The Cheap Seats here on Public House Media. Thanks for listening to the following broadcast on Public House Media. Once you're done with this episode, I hope you'll come check out my show, The Cheap Seats, where we talk about sports from the fans' perspective. A new show comes out every Monday. Don't forget to subscribe on iTunes so you never miss an episode of The Cheap Seats. Thanks again for checking out the following broadcast on Public House Media.
This is Liz Colburn, host of The Morning Uplift here on Public House Media. Thanks for listening to the following broadcast on Public House Media. Once you are done with this episode, I hope you'll come back and check out my show, The Morning Uplift, where we talk about finding your beauty in the journey. A new show comes out twice a month on the 1st and 3rd Mondays. Don't forget to subscribe on iTunes so you never miss an episode of The Morning Uplift. Thank you again for checking out the following broadcast on Public House Media.
Hi, this is Peggy Rojas, host of Viviendo una Vida en Balance here at Public House Media. Thanks for listening to the following broadcast on Public House Media. Once you're done with this episode, I hope you can come back and check my show, Viviendo una Vida en Balance, where we talk about life hacks to live a life in balance. And this show's in Spanish. A new show comes out every Monday, so don't forget to subscribe on iTunes and share with your friends. Again, thank you for checking out the following broadcast in Public House Media.
Shortstop Jason Martinson steps in to lead off the 5th inning. We're still scoreless, just 1 hit per side here at BB&T Point. Michael Bowden, the Rockers starter, still on the mound, and Martinson just cues this one off the end of the bat. Foul ball, count 0-1. Martinson struck out his first time up. Bowden not overpowering with his strikeout numbers today, just 4, but certainly is as dominant as ever, as he's only allowed 1 hit so far. And here is the 0-1 to Martinson. He swings and misses on the, looks like a slider maybe, down and out of the zone. So I want to finish off the promotional calendar. Of course, the Rockers have a bunch of stuff going on. Tomorrow is camp day, which means we have an 11 a.m. first pitch. Martinson gets this one off at the end of the bat, foul, and the count's still 0-2. We will go on air at about 10, we'll say 10:50 or so tomorrow morning. But again, if you have nothing to do for lunch break or maybe you want to skip work for a little bit, not saying you should, but just throwing it out there. We have an 11 o'clock start time tomorrow. Here's the 0-2 to Martinson. That one's in the dirt. And the count 1-2. How about Thursday? Yellow Bandana Night presented by Mental Health Associates of the Triad, raising funds there. One of the first 100 fans in the ballpark will receive a special gift. It's also Girls Night Out and Dollar Beer Night at the ballpark as the Rockers and Skeeters will conclude that series as Martinson fouls that one off of himself. Count still 0-2. Friday, Game of Thrones night here as the Rockers and Revolution begin a 3-game set. First 1,000 fans will receive a special Game of Thrones themed House Rockers banner. So certainly an exciting night there. Game of Thrones fans, baseball fans, it all comes together to a culmination on Friday night. Then Saturday, First Responders Night, some really awesome custom jerseys that night. The Rockers will be wearing First Responders jerseys. As that one to Martinson up high, count 2-2. Those jerseys will be up for auction. On the Live Source app. All first responders who show an active ID at the box office will get a comp ticket as this one is hit in the air deep to right field. Mitchell backing up, backpedaling, and makes the catch about 2 steps in front of the warning track for out number 1. That'll bring up DJ Peterson, who popped up in the infield to first baseman Richie Schaefer's first time up. Also Saturday, of course, they will have post-game fireworks, as is the tradition on Saturday home games. And then Sunday, another custom jersey day. International Youth Day presented by the Junior League of High Point. And the first pitch to Peterson in their first strike. Again, those custom jerseys will be available for auction as well. It's Family Fun Day presented by the Bethany Medical Center. And the kids can run the bases after the game. That pitch down low, and it's 1-1. Children 13 and under, of course, can run the bases. So that's a lot of fun stuff, a lot of stuff happening during this 6-game homestand. As that pitch is fouled off, and the count is 1-2. And I don't want to get too far ahead of myself, but, you know, we were talking the other day, Kevin and I were, just about the fact that the Rockers have a lot of custom jerseys, and they're all really cool. I think one of my favorites so far was from Hush Puppy Night. But, so on Saturday, the First Responders jerseys. Sunday, the International Youth Day jerseys. And here's the 1-2. Swung on, hit high in the air to center field. Back goes Lattimore. Back, looking up at the track. That is gone. DJ Peterson, a solo home run. And the Sugarland Skeeters are on the board here in the 5th inning. DJ Peterson, we talked about him a little bit earlier, and he gets the scoring started here with just his second home run as a Sugarland Skeeter. This is his 7th game with Sugarland. And here's Javier Betancourt. First pitch to Betancourt in there for a strike. Finishing that thought, though, custom jerseys Saturday and Sunday, and then next Saturday, Irish Heritage Night, will be yet another custom jersey. They all look fantastic, so come out and see them live, and then you can bid for them on the Live Source app. That pitch fouled off, and the count is 0-2 to Betancourt. Lots of good reasons to come out to the ballpark, and one of them obviously being the fact that you have a first-place baseball team here in High Point. Here's the pitch swung on, and just getting a piece of it is Betancourt, and I mean just getting a piece of it. And the count 0-2. So the Sugarland Skeeters are first on the scoreboard here in the top of the 5th. A solo home run by DJ Peterson. And Bowden will deal here. Swung on, and that's going to be popped up in the infield. Bowden's going to make the catch himself, taking a couple of steps off the mound for out number 2. And that'll bring up the number 9 hitter, Cody Stanley. Even with that home run that he's allowed, he's still done a fantastic job today. Only 4 strikeouts, which feels really low considering the fact that He had 12 last Tuesday. He still pitched a very good ball game. And he probably get another inning or two out of him as Cody Stanley fouls this first pitch off. Looking ahead to the bottom half of the fifth inning. Rockers will have 5, 6, and 7. There's some power there. As the 0-1 misses inside. Count 1 ball, 1 strike now to Cody Stanley. Bowden, of course, has spent parts of 4 or 5 seasons in the major leagues. Stanley just gets a piece of that one. And the count 1-2. So this is a guy with big league experience, and he certainly is a very experienced pitcher, one of the veterans on this pitching staff at 32 years of age. And he sure comes across as a leader, and this one's hit on the ground over to first base. Schaefer takes it himself for the final out of the inning, and he shows you how to get it done when maybe you don't have your best stuff. Another solid inning for Bowden, but the solo home run by DJ Peterson puts the Sugarland Skeeters on the board first. We go to the bottom of the fifth, 1-0 Sugarland. This is High Point Rockers Baseball.
This is Jessica Hammer, co-host of Crowned and Dangerous here on Public House Media. Thanks for listening to the following broadcast on Public House Media. Once you are done with this episode, I hope you'll come check out my show, Crowned and Dangerous, where Maddie and I talk about all things pageant related, especially our experiences in the Miss America organization. A new show comes out bi-weekly, every other Thursday. Don't forget to subscribe on iTunes so you never miss an episode of Crowned and Dangerous. Thanks again for checking out the following broadcast on Public House Media.
15 seconds, guys. You're halfway there. Keep it up.
This is Madeline, host of Crowned and Dangerous here on Public House Media. Thanks for listening to the following broadcast on Public House Media. Once you are done with this episode, I hope you'll come back to check out my show, Crowned and Dangerous, where Jessica and I talk about our time in the pageant world. A new show comes out bi-weekly on Thursdays. Don't forget to subscribe on iTunes so you never miss an episode of Crowned and Dangerous. Thanks again for checking out the following broadcast on Public House Media.
How's it going, everybody?
Hey guys,
this is Keith
and Katie from Coffee with Keith and Katie on Public House Media.
Thanks for listening to the following broadcasts on Public House Media.
When you're done listening to this show, I hope you'll come check out our show, Coffee with Keith and Katie. A new episode comes out every Sunday morning at 9 o'clock.
Thanks for listening to the following broadcast on Public House Media.
For the Rockers, first baseman, number 8, Richie Schaefer.
Bottom of the fifth inning, the Sugarland Skeeters with a 1-0 lead. The High Point Rockers coming to bat here with Richie Schaefer stepping up. He struck out looking his first time. Kendrick Fruits here with you at BB&T Point. Kevin McMahon out of town. He will be back on Thursday as the first pitch to Schaefer misses ball 1. But don't worry, we'll be back here tomorrow for the 11 a.m. game 2 of this series. Quick turnaround from tonight to tomorrow. Another off-speed pitch in there for a strike. And the count is 1-1. Troy Scribner working quickly. He's done a nice job today. That pitch inside to Schaefer just about clipped him. And the count now 2-1. Scribner working. Here's the 2-1. A big swing there for Schaefer, and the count is now 2-2. Well, if you've ever wondered where exactly is Sugarland, well, I'm about to tell you. It is a town in Texas. It is 20 miles southwest of Houston. Here's the 2-2. Schaefer swing and a miss, strike 3 for the first out of the inning, and that's strikeout number 4 for Troy Scribner.
The DH, number 35.
Bring up the designated hitter, C.J. Rutherford. So, yeah, Sugarland is a big area or near a big area there in Texas. It's the actual name of the town as Rutherford hits this one high in the infield. It's going to be called for by the second baseman, Betancourt, and he'll put it away easily for out number 2. And yet again, Troy Scribner putting together a very quick inning.
Second baseman.
In fact, that was his 52nd pitch. Here's Miles Schroeder, the second baseman. He bounced out to third his first time up. And Scribner will kick and deal. Schroeder rips this one. A scorching one-hopper to Betancourt at second base. He backhands it and throws on to first in time for the final out of the inning. So we're going to keep rolling on. We go to the top of the 6th inning. The Skeeters still lead 1-0. This is High Point Rockers baseball.
Hi, this is Peggy Rojas, host of Viviendo una Vida en Balance here at Public House Media. Thanks for listening to the following broadcast on Public House Media. Once you're done with this episode, I hope you can come back and check my show, Viviendo una Vida en Balance, where we talk about life hacks to live a life in balance. And this show's in Spanish. A new show comes out every Monday, so don't forget to subscribe on iTunes and share with your friends. Again, thank you for checking out the following broadcast in Public House Media.
Rockers Wear is located inside the High Point on the concourse behind home plate.
This is Dr. Mariah White, host of Your Life Matters, here on Public House Media. Thanks for listening to the following broadcast on Public House Media. Once you are done with this episode, I hope you'll come check out my show, Your Life Matters, where we talk about dreaming big and dreaming bold to reach your wildest dreams in both your health and your happiness. A new show comes out every single Tuesday. Don't forget to subscribe on iTunes so you'll never miss an episode of Your Life Matters. Thanks again for checking out the following broadcast on Public House Media.
Michael Bowden back out for the 6th inning, and he's doing exactly what the Rockers have asked of him, to keep his team in there and give him a chance. 5 innings of one-run ball to this juncture. 2 hits. He's walked none, struck out 4. That home run that he allowed last inning to Peterson has bumped up his ERA over the 1.00 mark, so it now sits at 1.16. Still absolutely nothing to be ashamed of a mark that fantastic.
Top of the order, center fielder number 12.
So here in the top of the 6th inning, it'll be at the top of the lineup for the Sugarland Skeeters, Giansanti, Bernard, and Borenstein. It's all 3 outfielders at the top of the lineup, center, left, and right, respectively. Michael Bowden at 76 pitches, so he's done a pretty decent job himself keeping his pitch count respectable. First pitch to Giansanti is a strike. Giansanti has grounded out to short and has singled, one of 2 base hits tonight for the Sugarland Skeeters. Here's the pitch, swung on, and that's going to be hit into left field for Giansanti's 2nd of the night. That one just hit on the ground in between Gomez and Alfonso on the left side of the infield. And the Skeeters have their leadoff man aboard for Winton Bernard,
number 28,
who has reached on an error and has grounded out to third. Also has a stolen base tonight. We're in the top half of the 6th inning of a tight one. Line score 1-3-0 for the Skeeters, 0-1-1 for your High Point Rockers. Bowden set, now deals first pitch to Bernard. Swung on and lofted up out of play over the right field side. And the count 0-1. They're putting up a graphic on the screen, a reminder that it is First Responders Night. Those uniforms blue on one side and red on the other side with a white interior. You can bid on those jerseys on the Live Source app. Really cool looking. I like them a lot. Here's the 0-1 to Bernard. Shows bunt and bunts it up and out of play over the almost went out of the stadium. The ball caroms back and just about hit a fan on the back of the head. Everybody's all right, but certainly a tough bounce there. As that ball is fouled up over the screen, up onto the roof over the concourse, and must have had a lot of backspin on it, rolled back down. But the count 0-2. We'll see if Bernard shows bunt again. Again, in the Atlantic League, you can bunt one time and foul it off with 2 strikes. But they're going to call strike 3 looking. That one at the knees. Bernard has a couple words for the home plate umpire.
That's another rocker.
But that is strikeout number 5 for Michael Bowden.
Brought to you by Circle
And it brings up Zach Borenstein, who was 0 for 2 today, also a strikeout victim. That coming in his previous at-bat. Both bullpens quiet here in the 6th, as you would obviously expect from Sugarland. With this one's hit on the ground to Schaefer, steps on the bag, 1 to throw to second. It hits Giansanti in the back. The Rockers trying to turn the double play, but it hits Anthony Giansanti in the back. Would have been an easy double play ball, and just bad luck biting the Rockers there as it was hit right to Schaefer. Took 2 steps to the bag, and the throw to second, right in between the shoulder blades of Anthony Giansanti. And so that'll bring up Dennis Phipps. Phipps has struck out twice today. Bowden trying to leave this at a 1-run deficit. And here's the pitch. Phipps swings and hits this one softly into center field. It's going to get down. We'll see if they send the runner. They will. He scores easily as the throw from Mitchell comes into second. So that missed opportunity on the double play comes back to hurt the Rockers as Dennis Phipps with an RBI single scores Giansanti from second. And Sugarland takes a 2-0 lead here in the 6th.
Number 27.
As I was mentioning about Troy Scribner, just at 53 pitches, so he's set himself up to go fairly deep into this ball game. Here's Juan Silverio, 0 for 2 today. Swung on and hits this one off of his hands. This one's grounded to Alfonso at short. He'll go the short way to second for the force out, and that's the final out of the inning. But a double play ball that hits Giansanti in the shoulders on the throw ends up costing the Rockers a run as the Sugarland Skeeters add to their lead. It is 2-0. This is High Point Rockers baseball.
This is Jenna Burt, host of the Confessions of a Military Spouse podcast here on Public House Media. Thanks for listening to the following broadcast on Public House Media. Once you're done with this episode, I hope you'll come check out my show, Confessions of a Military Spouse, where we dig deep and talk about the unspoken hard truths of what it's really like to be a military spouse. A new show comes out bi-weekly. Don't forget to subscribe on iTunes so you never miss an episode of Confessions of a Military Spouse. Thanks again for checking out the following broadcast on Public House Media.
This is Jessica Hammer, co-host of Crowned and Dangerous here on Public House Media. Thanks for listening to the following broadcast on Public House Media. Once you are done with this episode, I hope you'll come check out my show, Crowned and Dangerous, where Maddie and I talk about all things pageant related, especially our experiences in the Miss America organization. A new show comes out bi-weekly, every other Thursday. Don't forget to subscribe on iTunes so you never miss an episode of Crowned and Dangerous. Thanks again for checking out the following broadcast on Public House Media.
This is Madeline, host of Crowned and Dangerous here on Public House Media. Thanks for listening to the following broadcast on Public House Media. Once you are done with this episode, I hope you'll come back to check out my show, Crowned and Dangerous, where Jessica and I talk about our time in the pageant world. A new show comes out bi-weekly on Thursdays. Don't forget to subscribe on iTunes.
Bottom of the 6th inning, the Rockers will have the bottom 2 in their lineup, Jones and Alfonso, and then back around to Cardulo.
Leading off for the
here
Rockers,
in the
catcher, number 12.
Again, I mentioned the bottom of the 6th inning. Rockers trail 2-0 here. And Troy Scribner back on the bump for the Sugarland Skeeters. First pitch to Matt Jones in there, called strike. Jones is 0 for 1 today, flied out to center field his first time up. Nothing in the Rockers bullpen right now, so certainly leads one to believe that we'll see Bowden again in the 7th as Jones skies this one high into shallow center field. Giansanti is there, and he makes the catch for out number 1. Giovanni Alfonso comes up. He doubled his first time up, and at this point in time, the only base hit for the Rockers today is that double by Alfonso. And Scribner working quickly, deals to Alfonso. He swings and fouls this one off. And the count 0-1. Alfonso has bumped his average up to 226, which I believe is the highest it's been, at least since the beginning of July. It's been pretty productive from the bottom of the lineup recently. He swings and lines this one. What a leaping catch there. Diving catch by the shortstop Martinson, taking away what would have been a sure base hit. And Alfonso looking back out there at Martinson, knowing that he was robbed there. Excellent play by the Skeeters shortstop. And so with 2 outs, it'll be Steven Cardulo coming to the plate.
Number 65, Steven Cardulo.
Cardulo 0 for 2 with a strikeout. As Troy Scribner keeps motoring along here. Now remember, the last home series for the Rockers started out something very similar when they faced Darrell Thompson of the Southern Maryland Blue Crabs. This pitch to Cardulo swung on, and it's going to be hit high into right field, not very deep, racing in and making the catch is the right fielder Zach Borenstein. So another 1-2-3 inning for Troy Scribner. The Rockers down in order for the 3rd time in a row, actually. We head to the top of the 7th. I'll finish that thought in the next half inning. But the Rockers go down 1-2-3. They still trail by a score of 2-0. This is High Point Rockers Baseball.
This is Julianne Condia, host of Rewritten here on Public House Media.
Thanks, Shane.
Thank you so
Who's
much
ready for some rocker ball? We've got Madison and we've
Public
got
House Media. Once you are done with this episode,
3,
I hope you'll come check out my
1,
show, Rewritten, where we will talk about you having limitless potential and can rewrite your story at any time. No matter your background, your past, or current situation, you can have the type of life you crave. A new show comes out every single Monday. Don't forget to subscribe on iTunes so you never miss an episode of Rewritten. Thanks again for checking out the following broadcast on Public House Media.
Championship round. Here we go.
This is John Lauder, host of The Cheap Seats here on Public House Media. Thanks for listening to the following broadcast on Public House Media. Once you're done with this episode, I hope you'll come check out my show, The Cheap Seats, where we talk about sports from the fans' perspective. A new show comes out every Monday. Don't forget to subscribe on iTunes so you never miss an episode of The Cheap Seats. Thanks again for checking out the following broadcast on Public House Media.
Top of the 7th inning, it's still 2-0 in favor of the Sugarland Skeeters here at BB&T Point. I want to apologize to our Spreaker listeners. A technical error on my part caused you guys to not catch the last half inning, but the Rockers went down 1-2-3 again for the 3rd time in a row, and for the 5th time in 6 innings. So we're at the top of the 7th inning now. And Michael Bowden back out. And the first pitch to Jason Martinson misses ball 1. Martinson is 0 for 2 today with a strikeout. Bowden's given up 2 runs, a home run to Peterson, and then an RBI single by Dennis Phipps in the 5th and 6th innings as that pitch fouled off by Martinson in the count 1-1. Bowden came into this inning at 84 pitches, so he's at 86 now. most likely his final innings, but he's given the Rockers 6 good ones and hoping to tack on one more as Martinson hits this off the end of the bat into shallow left field. Lattimore jogging in, and he will make the catch, one away here in the 7th.
Brought to you by PTI Airport.
So finishing that thought from the last half inning as DJ Peterson, the man with the home run to get the scoring started, steps in. The Rockers were absolutely dominated by Darryl Thompson in the beginning of the first game of the 4-game series against Southern Maryland the last time they were home. Thompson, 8 shutout innings there. The Rockers just went down in order seemingly every inning as that pitch a called strike, but they bounced back and won 3 straight and took that series 3-1 and continued their winning ways on the road against Long Island and won 3 there, which is why they're currently on a 6-game winning streak, which is in jeopardy tonight as that pitch misses there, 2-0. All that is to say that the Rockers can more than certainly bounce back from a series opening loss as the Rockers have somebody up in the pen now. Swing and a miss in the count 2-1 to Peterson. Still plenty of time here tonight as the Rockers will have 3 more cracks at it. And we know that this is a team that loves to do their damage late in the games. That pitch in the turf, blocked by the catcher Matt Jones, and the count is now 2-2. Bowden pitching on what amounts to a week's rest here. Kicks and delivers the 2-2. That's going to miss just down low, and the count goes full. He's trying to get through 6, 7, and 8 and turn things over to the bullpen. Again, he's been solid tonight. Not his best outing, but he's been very solid. He scoops that one, or spikes it rather. And it is ball 4 to DJ Peterson. For Bowden, that's his first walk of the night, so it's a guy who's had really good command tonight. Not only is that his first walk tonight, but that is his 3rd base on balls permitted as a member of the High Point Rockers, and that's stretching about 25 innings at this point. I think a little bit over, actually, about 26 or 27. Here's the number 8 hitter, Javier Betancourt. He's 0 for 2, and he takes strike 1. Sam Runyon is the reliever in the High Point Rockers bullpen. Bowden now comes set. Peterson takes his lead off of first base. Bowden holds the set. Now here's the pitch swung on and hit up out of play. And the count is 0-2. So again, 11 a.m. start time tomorrow. $1 beer night on Thursday. That's a 6:30 start time, and that will conclude the Sugarland series. And the Rockers then begin a big-time 3-game series with the best team in the second half, and that's the York Revolution. Here's the pitch swung on, hit off the end of the bat. It's a grounder. Diving stop by Alfonso. Throws over to second for 1. The relay to first, not in time. But my goodness, what a play by the Rockers shortstop, getting the lead runner at second. I thought there was no way. But Alfonso slides, makes the catch, and then whips around to throw to Schroeder for the out. That's a big-time play for Giovanni Alfonso. That's out number 2. And I'll bring up the catcher, Cody Stanley. He's 0 for 2 today. He's flied out to Lattimore in left and has grounded out to first baseman Richie Schaefer. Bowden looking to finish his night strong as Stanley fouls this one off, and the count 0-1. Rockers in the bottom of the 7th inning will have 2, 3, and 4. Jared Mitchell, Hector Gomez, Quincy Lattimore. And regardless of what happens tonight, the Rockers will still hold on to first place as Bowden throws over to first and checks on Betancourt. We'll take a look at the Atlantic League scoreboard, though, in the next half inning. A couple games of note that the Rockers have implications. Runner goes, pitches a ball. The throw to second is a good one, and just getting under the throw is Javier Betancourt, and that was a close play. A little bit of a high throw by Matt Jones, but it looked like a good tag by Giovanni Alfonso. It's the second time tonight the Rockers have just missed on a stolen base, or just missed catching a runner, I should say. That'd be one I'd be interested in taking another look at. As Bowden steps off and works the runner back to second base. The count 1-1 to the catcher Stanley, left-handed hitter. Bowden comes set, and here is the 1-1. Swing and a missed strike two. Bowden one strike away from getting out of the seventh inning. As they're putting up a replay here. And it looks like it was the correct call. Alfonso left the glove up just a little bit too high. I think he was safe. Good call there by the base umpire, which is Eric Bynum. Bowden steps off and looks again back Betancourt to second base. It was really close play and fantastic job by our crew down in the control room pulling that replay up for us. We obviously appreciate their hard work, and as they say in modern culture, they're the real MVPs. Here's the 1-2. No, Bowden steps off again. Here's the throw that gets away from Alfonso, and Betancourt's going to go to third on the throwing error by Michael Bowden. He tried to pick off Betancourt and threw to the second base side, or the first base side of second, I should say, and it just got away from Alfonso. I think that'll be an E1, and so now with a 1-2 count, an insurance run 90 feet away from scoring for the Skeeters. Bowden just needs one more strike to put away Stanley, though. He comes set. Here's the 1-2. Swung on, and that's lined into right field. That'll get down in the gap for extra bases. Easily scoring is Betancourt. And it will be over the fence ground rule double style for Cody Stanley. So the run scores. It is now 3-0, and I think that's going to be it for Michael Bowden, as he got to 2 strikes with Stanley but could not put him away. Betancourt scores, and that will indeed be the end of the night for Michael Bowden. So Sam Runyon will come in and throw for the Rockers, so we'll step aside and let him get a couple of warm-up tosses in, and when we return, we'll get you all set up. We'll introduce you to Runyon, give you his numbers, and we'll go from there. This is High Point Rockers Baseball.
What's up, everybody? This is Christian Heimel, host of Press Row here on Public House Media. Thanks for listening to the following broadcast on Public House Media. Once you're done with this episode, I hope you'll come check out my show, Press Row, where we talk about the biggest issues in sports with the analysts, experts, and reporters who cover them. No nonsense, hard-hitting interviews on the sports topics you're talking about. The new show comes out every single Thursday. And don't forget to subscribe on iTunes so you never miss an episode of Press Row. Thanks again for checking out the following broadcast on Public House Media. What's up, everybody? This is Christian Heimel, host of Press Row here on Public House Media. Thanks for listening to the following broadcast on Public House Media. Once you're done with this episode, I hope you'll come check out my show, Press Row, where we talk about the biggest issues in sports with the analysts, experts, and reporters who cover them. No nonsense, hard-hitting interviews on the sports topics you're talking about. A new show comes out every single Thursday. And don't forget to subscribe on iTunes so you never miss an episode of Press Row. Thanks again for checking out the following broadcast on Public House Media.
This is Julianne Condia, host of Rewritten here on Public House Media. Thank you so much for listening to the following broadcast on Public House Media. Once you are done with this episode, I hope you'll come check out my show, Rewritten, where we will talk about you having limitless potential and can rewrite your story at any time. No matter your background, your past, or current situation, you can have the type of life you crave. A new show comes out every single Monday. Don't forget to subscribe on iTunes so you never miss an episode of Rewritten. Thanks again for checking out the following broadcast on Public House Media.
So again, we mentioned Sam Runyon takes over here with 2 outs in the top of the 7th inning. 1 run already in. It's the 3rd straight inning the Skeeters have scored. They lead the Rockers by a score of 3-0. Runyon's numbers 3-2, 3.60 ERA. This is 35th appearance. 33 strikeouts in 40 innings. The former Southern Maryland Blue Crab will deal to Anthony Giansanti, the leadoff man, and the curveball from Runyon. Upstairs, 1 ball and no strikes. The runner on second, Stanley, is the responsibility of Michael Bowden, so we cannot give you his final numbers just quite yet. Runyon deals. Here's the 1-0, swung on and fouled up out of play, and the count is 1-1. Three runs on 5 hits and no errors for the Skeeters. 0 runs, 1 hit, and a pair of errors for the Rockers. Runyon deals. Here's the 1-1. It's off speed. It's inside, and it's now 2-1. So here's how we got to this point. After 1 out in the inning, DJ Peterson walked. Betancourt with the fielder's choice. That eliminated Peterson. But Betancourt with a steal and advanced to third on an error. That curveball in there for a strike to Runyon. Put him at third base, and the RBI double by Cody Stanley, the ground rule double. And that's the story of the run here in the 7th. Runyon, though, 1 strike away of getting out of this inning. But he takes too long for Giansanti's liking, and he steps out of the box. Now he's ready to get things going again. Again, we're in the top of the 7th inning, so the Rockers still have 3 more chances offensively. And that late inning team, as we know they are, that pitch, a check swing, doesn't matter, strike 3. Excellent job there by Sam Runyon to come in and finish out the 7th inning strong. So the High Point Rockers get a big strikeout there, but not before the Skeeters score again. And we head to the bottom of the 7th, 3-0 Sugar Land. This is High Point Rockers baseball.
Hi, this is Emily.
This is Lindsay.
And this is Elizabeth.
Co-hosts of Beauties and Headcanons here on Public House Media. Thanks for listening to the following broadcast on Public House Media.
Once you are done with this episode, we hope you'll come check out our show, Beauties and Headcanons, where we talk nerdy to you about fandoms, fan fiction, and all pop culture for nerds that you can think of. A new show comes out every Friday.
Don't forget to subscribe on iTunes so you never miss an episode of Beauties and Headcanons. Thanks again for checking out the following broadcast on Public House Media.
This is Jenna Burt, host of the Confessions of a Military Spouse podcast here on Public House Media. Thanks for listening to the following broadcast on Public House Media. Once you're done with this episode, I hope you'll come check out my show, Confessions of a Military Spouse, where we dig deep and talk about the unspoken hard truths of what it's really like to be a military spouse. A new show comes out bi-weekly. Don't forget to subscribe on iTunes so you never miss an episode of Confessions of a Military Spouse. Thanks again for checking out the following broadcast on Public House Media.
This is Jessica Hammer, co-host of Crowned and Dangerous here on Public House Media. Thanks for listening to the following broadcast on Public House Media. Once you are done with this episode, I hope you'll come check out my show, Crowned and Dangerous, where Maddie and I talk about all things pageant related, especially our experiences in the Miss America organization. A new show comes out bi-weekly, every other Thursday. Don't forget to subscribe on iTunes so you never miss an episode of Crowned and Dangerous. Thanks again for checking out the following broadcast on Public House Media.
Troy Scribner back out here for the bottom of the 7th inning. He'll face 2, 3, and 4 for the Rockers. That's Jared Mitchell, Hector Gomez, and Quincy Lattimore. And Scribner, who's pitched a masterful game so far, deals off speed in there called strike to Jared Mitchell, who is 0 for 1, has also walked and was caught stealing. It's a baseball family, the Scribners. His brother Evan, of course, a major league reliever. Spent some time with the A's and the Giants, among others, as that curveball drops in there called strike. And Mitchell quickly in the hole, 0-2. Rockers trail by a count of 3-0 here in the bottom of the 7th. So I think once you pass the 7th inning stretch, I think that officially puts you in the late stages of the game. So I'll say it. We're in the late stages of the game as Mitchell fouls that one up and out of play, and the count is still 0-2. Rockers' lone hit so far today, courtesy of a double by Giovanni Alfonso back in the 3rd inning. In fact, they've only had 2 base runners. It's Alfonso's double and a walk to this man, Jared Mitchell. The only 2 base runners Scribner has permitted. Here's the 0-2. That's a fastball that stays upstairs. And the count is 1-2. So we can finally close the book on Michael Bowden. We'll give you his numbers here. First, the curveball. Mitchell, nice battle there. Gets a piece of it. And stays alive, 1-2. So Bowden goes 6 2/3, gives up 5 hits, 3 runs, all earned rather. 5 strikeouts and a walk for Bowden. Here's a 2-2, just a piece of it there for Mitchell, but back into the catcher's glove for strike 3. And that will bring up Hector Gomez. Mitchell, kind of a defensive swing. Couldn't defend the outer part of the plate, though, against Evan Scribner, who's just been absolutely dominant tonight as he misses ball 1. That's low to Gomez. And working quickly, this one is a swing and a miss. Hector Gomez quickly in the hole now. He's 0 for 2 tonight, has bounced out to third, has flied out to center. Rockers trail 3-0 here in the 7th, and he fights this one off into right field. This is going down the line, and it hooks foul. Looked like it might have found a little piece of grass near the foul line, but that ball continued to hook and ended up in the stands. So the count 1-2 still to Gomez. We talk about how stingy Scribner has been with his pitch count. He's still not at 70 pitches yet here in the bottom of the 7th inning, and you know he has every intention of finishing this ball game. Curveball, Gomez gets a piece of it, actually hits it pretty well into right field, but now coming in and making the catch is Borenstein. Gomez was reaching for it, but ended up making decent contact on it, but ends up just being out number 2. And Quincy Lattimore comes up. Troy Scribner has retired 10 Rockers in a row. And Lattimore takes strike 1 just about chest high across the lettering on the front of the uniforms. Rockers did so well in the Road Blues last time they were at home. They just decided if it ain't broke, don't fix it, as that one inside to Lattimore. And the count 1-1. They're going to need a little magic with him now as they're in the late stages of this game. Here's the 1-1 from Scribner. That's down low, and the count is 2-1. Gomez, of course, a guy with major league experience. Little time with the Philadelphia Phillies. Here's the pitch. It's a curveball to Lattimore, and the count 2-2. Lattimore, a guy who has bounced around quite a bit. He was in the Mexican League earlier this year. Spent some time in the Pittsburgh Pirates farm system before that. Here's the 2-2. Lattimore swings and drives. That's deep into left field. back at the track, at the wall, and rockabye baseball. Quincy Lattimore puts the Rockers on the board here in the bottom of the 7th inning. Lattimore, his 16th home run, and High Point breaks out of their offensive funk. They are on the board 3-1. I tell you what, as a pitcher, you know, the scouting report on Quincy Lattimore very simply should just be, don't throw him something up. Quincy Lattimore turns on that one and hits it a long way into the night. And that'll bring up Richie Schaefer. We'll see if the Rockers can build off of that. Schaefer takes strike one. And Schaefer checks his swing. Doesn't matter. It's a called strike anyways. 0-2. Again, that's the big part of the lineup right here that you want to get into. Especially the guys you think can get you started. As Schaefer takes that curveball that just misses down and away 1-2. Still no action in the bullpen for Sugar Land, as Scribner has been dominant otherwise. Schaefer swings and misses strike 3. That's the final out of the 7th inning, but not before Quincy Lattimore says, and in a big statement sort of way, I see that 0 on the board, and I'm going to change it. His solo home run puts the Rockers on the board, and we go now to the top of the 8th inning. It's 3-1 in favor of the Sugar Land Skeeters. This is High Point Rockers baseball.
This is Daniel Poppy, host of How to Write Good here on Public House Media. I just want to thank you for listening to the following broadcast brought to you by Public House Media. Once you're done with this episode, I hope that you'll come check out my show, How to Write Good, the writing show that is not about writing. A new show of How to Write Good comes out every Wednesday, so don't forget to subscribe on iTunes so you never miss an episode of How to Write Good. Again, thanks for checking out the following broadcast on Public House Media.
This is Rachel Mullins, host of #NoFilterFriday here on Public House Media. Thanks for listening to the following broadcast on Public House Media. Once you're done with this episode, I hope you'll come check out my new show, #NoFilterFriday, where we talk about all of the sexual misconduct allegations swirling around Hollywood. A new show drops every Friday at 8:30 Pacific Standard Time. Don't forget to subscribe on iTunes so you'll never miss an episode of #NoFilterFriday. Thanks again for checking out the following broadcast on Public House Media.
What's up, everybody? This is Christian Heimel, host of Press Row here on Public House Media. Thanks for listening to the following broadcast on Public House Media. Once you're done with this episode, I hope you'll come check out my show, Press Row, where we talk about the biggest issues in sports with the analysts, experts, and reporters who cover them. No nonsense, hard-hitting interviews on the sports topics you're talking about. A new show comes out every single Thursday. And don't forget to subscribe on iTunes so you never miss an episode of Press Row. Thanks again for checking out the following broadcast on Public House Media.
Top of the 8th inning, Sam Runyon back out for his 2nd inning of work. Rockers trail 3-1, but they are on the board, so check step 1 off of the list. Step 2 is for Sam Runyon to hold the Skeeters scoreless here in the top of the 8th inning, so the offense can get right back to work. It'll be Winton Bernard, Zach Borenstein, and Dennis Phipps. So easier said than done as he's facing 2, 3, and 4 here in the lineup. And Runyon's first pitch to Bernard misses down low. Rockers, of course, sitting atop the Liberty division as that pitch misses 2-0. By a game and a half over the Long Island Ducks, so not really scoreboard watching this late in the year, but it's good to know that the Ducks are trailing in their game. We'll give you the full scoreboard report here as that pitch misses down low. And how about we'll start with that one. The Long Island Ducks on the road against the Southern Maryland Blue Crabs, and despite L.J. Mazzilli's home run in the top of the 9th inning, the Ducks are 1 out away from dropping that game as this one is lined on a hop to the shortstop, Alfonso. He's got a long throw, the stretch from Schaefer in time. yet another big-time play by the Rockers shortstop. It was a one-hopper deep into the hole. He picked it up and completely stopped his momentum, did Alfonso, and fired that one across to first base. So, you know, the offense is coming around for Giovanni Alfonso, but the defense has absolutely never been a question. And so just, again, another play. You got to put a star next to that one on the throw from Giovanni Alfonso. That brings up Zach Borenstein. He's 0 for 3 today with a strikeout. And the first pitch from Runyon just misses. So, again, the Ducks are 1 out away from losing that game, and actually John Apostolo just grounded out. And so the Long Island Ducks have lost, so the High Point Rockers will not give away any ground today to the Ducks. They'll maintain that 1.5 game lead if things hold here. As this one's hit on the ground. Nice play by Schroeder. Spins, throws to first in time, and a fantastic play there. So both middle infielders for the Rockers making big-time plays here in the 8th inning. Schroeder, a guy who doesn't play a whole lot of second base for the Rockers, but just stabbed that one going full speed towards the foul line, did a 360 in shallow right field, and threw on to Richie Schaefer at first. What a fantastic play there. 2 base hit saving plays by the middle infield of the Rockers, and that brings up Dennis Phipps, the dangerous Dennis Phipps, 1 for 3 today with an RBI single. And the first pitch from Runyon to Phipps fouled back to the screen. The Lancaster Barnstormers leading the New Britain Bees by a score of 5-3. They're in the 6th inning of that game. Andrew Applin just picked up a home run, and Joey Terdoslavich did as well. 2 solo home runs for the Barnstormers broke a 3-3 tie in that game. And you think you have a pitcher's duel here with it 3-1 in favor of the Skeeters. That pitch in there for a strike. Well, here's the exact opposite. The Somerset Patriots destroying the York Revolution, and I mean destroying, 16-1 in the bottom of the 6th inning in York, Pennsylvania. Mike Ullman, a pair of home runs so far in that game, and Phipps just gets a piece of it and snow-coned by the pitcher Runyon on a hop. He goes towards first and flips it underhanded to Richie Schaefer for the final out of the inning. So we go now to the bottom of the 8th. Rockers still have a little ground to make up, but dare I say momentum might be on their side. We'll find out. The bottom of the 8th inning next. This is High Point Rockers Baseball.
This is Daniel Poppy, host of How to Write Good here on Public House Media. I just want to thank you for listening to the following broadcast brought to you by Public House Media. Once you're done with this episode, I hope that you'll come check out my show, How to Write Good, the writing show that is not about writing. A new show of How to Write Good comes out every Wednesday, so don't forget to subscribe on iTunes so you never miss an episode of How to Write Good. Again, thanks for checking out the following broadcast on Public House Media.
This is Rachel Mullins, host of #NoFilterFriday here on Public House Media. Thanks for listening to the following broadcast on Public House Media. Once you're done with this episode, I hope you'll come check out my new show, #NoFilterFriday, where we talk about all of the sexual misconduct allegations swirling around Hollywood. A new show drops every Friday at 8:30 Pacific Standard Time. Don't forget to subscribe on iTunes so you'll never miss an episode of #NoFilterFriday. Thanks again for checking out the following broadcast on Public House Media.
Bottom of the 8th inning, and the Rockers will have another chance to try to figure out Troy Scribner a little bit more as he comes back for the 8th inning. And why shouldn't he? When you look at it, the fella's got 77 pitches so far chalked up against him, so he's got plenty left in the tank. Rockers will have C.J. Rutherford, the new rocker, followed by Miles Schroeder and Matt Jones, as Rutherford pops this one up into shallow right field. Going out is the second baseman Betancourt. Coming in is the right fielder Borenstein, and it'll be Borenstein making the catch for out number 1. 1 pitch, 1 out, and that is exactly why Troy Scribner has been able to stay in the game to the extent that he has. Here's Miles Schroeder, the second baseman. He's grounded out twice today, but he made a fantastic play in the field last half inning. It's part of a back-to-back fantastic play effort with him and Giovanni Alfonso, the shortstop. Swings through the first pitch and misses, strike 1. Rockers trail 3-1 here in the 8th. And Schroeder swinging and missing as that pitch down in the dirt, and the count is 0-2. Action in both bullpens. Rockers have a righty, I believe. There's a right-hander up in the pen for the Skeeters as well. But unless Troy Scribner really gets in trouble here in the 8th inning, it looks to be his. Takes too much time on that pitch, and Miles Schroeder asks for time and is granted time by the home plate umpire Thomas Newsom. Now here we go. The 0-2 to Schroeder. It's a curveball in the dirt. He does not bite, and the count is 1-2. Here's the 1-2. It's a pitch that looks like it might have slipped out of Scribner's hand. It's way up and away to the left-handed hitting of Schroeder, and the count now even at 2. Rockers just looking for a base runner. They've only got a pair of hits today off of Scribner. One of them, of course, the solo home run by Quincy Lattimore last inning. Curveball. Schroeder gets under this one and lofts it high in the air into right field, but the second baseman, Betancourt, calls for it as he heads out into shallow right field, now more medium right field, makes the catch for out number 2. That'll bring up Matt Jones. He's 0 for 2 today.
The catcher, number 12, Matt Jones.
Following Jones will be Giovanni Alfonso if the Rockers can get things going here in the 8th inning. Looking down in the Rockers bullpen, it's Dusty Isaacs, I believe, that's throwing as Jones check swing foul ball here on the first pitch, and the count is 0-1. Rockers have a 6-game winning streak on the line tonight, and they need 2 runs just to tie as the curveball from Scribner misses, and the count 1-1. Be a quick turnaround tomorrow with an 11 o'clock start time. Jones, big swing there. And the count now 1-2. Not sure the starting probable for the Sugarland Skeeters. They shuffled around their starters shortly before game time tonight, but the Rockers going to go with Dominic DeMasi tomorrow. Jones checks his swing, and it's a good thing. That pitch misses 2-2. DeMasi's been giving the Rockers some good outings recently, and Lucas Irvine will pitch on Thursday to finish out this series. 3 quality arms for the Rockers, including Bowden's effort tonight. That pitch misses down low, and the count goes full to Jones as he tries to extend here in the bottom of the 8th inning. Scribner looks in, ready to get the 3-2 sign from the catcher Stanley. Here it is. He rocks and fires. Curveball stays up, and Matt Jones will work a walk here in the 8th inning with 2 outs. That pitch was the 89th of the game for Scribner, so this 8th inning most likely would be his final. Alfonso and the man on deck, Steven Cardullo, would like to chase him before this inning's over. Rockers have been known to make things happen with 2 outs, little 2-out magic. First pitch to Alfonso in there for a called strike. We are nearing. Alfonso swings, lines this one into right field. It gets down, base hit, a 1-base advancement for Jones, and Giovanni Alfonso has his 2nd base hit of the ball game. Getting some production from the 9-hitter tonight as the Rockers go back around to the top of the lineup. Steven Cardullo, who's been the hottest Rocker as of late. A couple home runs last week. As Stanley goes out to the mound to have a quick word with Scribner. Here's something really neat as we approach the end of the season. later on in this homestand, I believe it would actually be Game 2 of the York Revolution Series. So Saturday, the 100th game for the Rockers. 54 wins, 41 losses thus far this year. As tonight is game number 96. I got it wrong. Sunday, the finale of the homestand will be game number 100. As the first pitch to Cardulo is up high, and the count is 1-0. It's hard to believe we're that far into the inaugural season here of the High Point Rockers, but it's been a fantastic one. 9 walk-off wins so far. Could the Rockers make it an even 10 tonight? Tying run is at first base, and Alfonso Cardulo takes a strike at the letters, and the count is 1-2. Cardulo hitless in 3 trips today. Team leader in home runs out of the leadoff spot. Blasted a big one Saturday against the Ducks. Here's the pitch, and it misses. 2 balls and a strike now for Cardulo. Jared Mitchell waits on deck. You know, we talked a little bit back when Tyler Ladendorf was still here about the fact that it felt like there really wasn't any weak spots in the lineup, and you still get that feeling Jared Mitchell more than capable out of the 2 spot where Tyler used to be. As that pitch upstairs, 3 balls and a strike as Cardulo backs out of the way of that one a little bit. And the count now 3-1. Scribner 1 bad one away from loading the bases here in the 8th. Excuse me. Scribner set. Here's the 3-1. It's a curveball. Just missing ball 4. That was a close one, but a good eye there by Cardulo. The walk by Scribner loads the bases, and Pete Incaviglia says, that was a fantastic outing tonight, Troy, but I'm going to go to the bullpen here with the bases loaded. A huge situation here as the Rockers have a chance to take the lead, or let's just face it, to even tie. We'll work for the tie first. Bases loaded, bottom of the 8th, 2 outs, and the Sugar Land Skeeters are going to the bullpen. So we'll step aside, and when we come back, big-time drama here at BB&T Point.
This is Daniel Poppy, host of How to Write Good here on Public House Media. I just want to thank you for listening to the following broadcast brought to you by Public House Media. Once you're done with this episode, I hope that you'll come check out my show, How to Write Good, the writing show that is not about writing. A new show of How to Write Good comes out every Wednesday, so don't forget to subscribe on iTunes so you never miss an episode of How to Write Good. Again, thanks for checking out the following broadcast on Public House Media.
This is Rachel Mullins, host of #NoFilterFriday here on Public House Media. Thanks for listening to the following broadcast on Public House Media. Once you're done with this episode, I hope you'll come check out my new show, #NoFilterFriday, where we talk about all of the sexual misconduct allegations swirling around Hollywood. A new show drops every Friday at 8:30 Pacific Standard Time. Don't forget to subscribe on iTunes so you'll never miss an episode of #NoFilterFriday. Thanks again for checking out the following broadcast on Public House Media.
Now pitching for Sugar Land, number 16, Nick Rumbelow.
What's up, everybody? This is Christian Heimel, host of Press Row here on Public House Media. Thanks for listening to the following broadcast on Public House Media. Once you're done with this episode, I hope you'll come check out my show, Press Row, where we talk about the biggest issues in sports with the analysts, experts, and reporters who cover them. No nonsense, hard-hitting interviews on the sports topics you're talking about. A new show comes out every single Thursday. And don't forget to subscribe on iTunes so you never miss an episode of Press Row. Thanks again for checking out the following broadcast on Public House Media. What's up, everybody? This is Christian Heimel, host of Press Row here on Public House Media. Thanks for listening to the following broadcast on Public House Media. Once you're done with this episode, I hope you'll come check out my show, Press Row, where we talk about the biggest issues in sports with the analysts, experts, and reporters who cover them. No nonsense, hard-hitting interviews on the sports topics you're talking about. A new show comes out every single Thursday. And don't forget to subscribe on iTunes so you never miss an episode of Press Row. Thanks again for checking out the following broadcast.
Nick Rumbelow steps in for the Sugarland Skeeters here. Bases loaded, Jared Mitchell the hitter. So that's the situation. Rumbelow, of course, a former New York Yankee and Seattle Mariner, a guy with Major League experience, and a guy the Skeeters call upon to get them out of a bases-loaded jam. He's got 4 saves this year, and his first pitch to Mitchell swung on and hit on the ground to Betancourt. Scoops it up, throws on to first in time, so just needing one pitch, Rumbelow comes in and gets out of the bases-loaded jam, and the High Point Rockers will have to wait until the bottom of the 9th to see if they can tie this one up or even go for the win. We head now to the top of the 9th inning. This is High Point Rockers baseball.
This is Rachel Mullins, host of Hashtag No Filter Friday, here on Public House Media. Thanks for listening to the following broadcast on Public House Media. Once you're done with this episode, I hope you'll come check out my new show, Hashtag No Filter Friday, where we talk about all of the sexual misconduct allegations swirling around Hollywood. A new show drops every Friday at 8:30 Pacific Standard Time. Don't forget to subscribe on iTunes so you'll never miss an episode of Hashtag No Filter Friday. Thanks again for checking out the following broadcast on Public House Media.
This is Daniel Poppy, host of How to Write Good here on Public House Media. I just want to thank you for listening to the following broadcast brought to you by Public House Media. Once you're done with this episode, I hope that you'll come check out my show, How to Write Good, the writing show that is not about writing. A new show of How to Write Good comes out every Wednesday, so don't forget to subscribe on iTunes so you never miss an episode of How to Write Good. Again, thanks for checking out the following broadcast on Public House Media.
This is Rachel Mullins, host of Hashtag No Filter Friday, here on Public House Media. Thanks for listening to the following broadcast on Public House Media. Once you're done with this episode, I hope you'll come check out my new show, Hashtag No Filter Friday, where we talk about all of the sexual misconduct allegations swirling around Hollywood. A new show drops every Friday at 8:30 Pacific Standard Time. Don't forget to subscribe on iTunes so you'll never miss an episode of Hashtag No Filter Friday. Thanks again for checking out the following broadcast on Public House Media.
What's up, everybody? This is Christian Heimel, host of Press Row here on Public House Media. Thanks for listening to the following broadcast on Public House Media. Once you're done with this episode, I hope you'll come check out my show, Press Row, where we talk about the biggest issues in sports with the analysts, experts, and reporters who cover them. No nonsense, hard-hitting interviews on the sports topics.
Top of the 9th inning, Rockers trail by a score of 3-1, and a new pitcher on the mound for the Rockers. It's Dusty Isaacs. And his first pitch to Juan Silverio is inside ball 1. Isaac's a fairly new rocker. 8 appearances so far, 1-2 record, 5.40 ERA. As Silverio gets this one in on his hands, but he fights it off into center field for a base hit to lead off the 9th inning. Brings up Jason Martinson, who was 0 for 3 today. Also giving a little more information on Isaacs in 10 innings pitched, 14 strikeouts, 5 walks. We mentioned the fairly high earned run average. Had a rough start here, but has certainly picked things up as of late. Here's Jason Martinson with a runner on first here in the 9th inning. We can close the book on the fantastic outing by Troy Scribner. And we will do just that. 7 2/3 innings, 3 hits, 1 run. It was earned. It was the home run by Lattimore. 3 walks and 6 strikeouts. He is in line to pick up his second win of the campaign. Here's the 1-0 from Isaac. Swung on, and the runner goes. Jones drops the ball in the transfer. There will be no throw. There's a little awkward slide there at second base by Silverio. You just about ended up in a split position. The count 1-1. Would have been a close play, I think, had Jones gotten that throw off, but as he transferred the ball from glove hand to bare hand, it just slipped and rolled behind him. So the count 1-1 to Martinson. And Isaacs delivers off speed, swing and a miss. Like I say, he just got a piece of it. Either way, it's strike two, and the count is 1-2. Rumbelow most likely will come back out in the bottom of the ninth inning and try to close this game up for Sugar Land. Rockers have to keep the deficit where it stands, though. Here's the pitch, swing and a miss, strike three for out number one. Down goes Martinson, and that'll bring up DJ Peterson, who got the scoring started with a solo home run back in the fifth inning.
First baseman.
Looking at
DJ Peterson.
Players who have recorded saves for the Sugar Land Skeeters. The leader, Felipe Paulino, with 14. Obviously, he's not been with the team since June. He's a member of the Chicago White Sox organization now. So they've just had a bunch of guys picking up saves here and there whenever the situation has called for it. Runner goes. Here's the pitch. Jones throws down to third. It's a good throw. Way in time. And an easy caught stealing there. Jones guns it from his knees. Hector Gomez turned around to make the tag, and the runner wasn't even there. He had to wait for a moment. Score that one a 2-5, caught stealing, and a big thing there to erase the base runner. The count 1-0 as that pitch was a ball. But finishing that thought on Nick Rumbelow, leads the team among active pitchers in saves with 4. So here's the 1-0 from Isaacs. Just missing there. 2 balls, no strikes. Rockers down 3-1 in the top of the ninth inning with 2 outs. And they have 3, 4, and 5 coming to bat in the bottom of the ninth. Just the part of your lineup you want to see. Isaacs comes set, deals. That's one that almost gets away from Matt Jones. Heads up play there. Scooping that one. The count 3-0. A reminder that we play tomorrow at 11 a.m. We're going to come on the air at about 10:50 as we get you set for Game 2 of this series. Dominic DeMasi on the hill for the Rockers as Isaacs misses ball 4 to Peterson. It's a 4-pitch walk here. The inning continues with Javier Betancourt, the number 8 hitter.
Second baseman.
Betancourt 0 for 3 today. Reached on a fielder's choices last time up, stole a base. And here's the pitch. Betancourt just gets a piece of it, fouls it up and out of play over the first base side. Count 0-1. Between these two teams, the series is tied at 7 games apiece. Sugar Land has the Rockers' number as of late. They took 3 out of 4 here 2 weeks ago. Here's the pitch, just missed, hitting Betancourt there. Right around shoulder height. I will say, though, all of those games were tight games. You talked to the Rockers players during and after that series, and they said, hey, we had a chance to win every one of those as Betancourt, big swing, chases one out of the zone for strike 2. They all felt that they were in the games, and they felt that those were all games that could have been won. So on paper, it says the Skeeters took the series 3-1, but in reality, it was a lot closer than it appeared. Here's the pitch, swung on, just got it off the end of the bat on the ground to short. Alfonso picks it up and flips it over to Miles Schroeder for out number 3, the final out of the inning. So we go to the bottom of the ninth inning. It's do or die time for the High Point Rockers. Let's see if they can get something rocking and rolling here
Rockers
at BB&T Point.
headed
Rockers
into
trail
the
3-1.
bottom of the ninth. You know what time it is. Get up and get loud. It's
Media. Thanks for listening to the following broadcast on Public House Media. Once you are done with this episode, I hope you'll come back and check out my show, The Morning Uplift, where we talk about finding your beauty in the journey. A new show comes out twice a month on the first and third Mondays. Don't forget to subscribe on iTunes so you never miss an episode of The Morning Uplift. Thank you again for checking out the following broadcast on Public House Media.
Hi, this is Peggy Rojas, host of Viviendo una Vida en Balance here at Public House Media. Thanks for listening to the following broadcast on Public House Media. Once you're done with this episode, I hope you can come back and check my show, Viviendo una Vida en Balance, where we talk about life hacks to live a life in balance. And the show's in Spanish. A new show comes out every Monday, so don't forget to subscribe on iTunes and share with your friends. Again, thank you for checking out the following broadcast in Public House Media.
All right, so let's set the stage for you here in the ninth inning. I'm Kendrick Fruits at BB&T Point for the first of a 6-game homestand for your High Point Rockers. First 3 games against the Sugarland Skeeters. Next 3 games against the Freedom Division first-place team, the York Revolution. And here's what we're looking at. Bottom of the ninth, it is 3-1 in favor of the Skeeters. Rockers have 3, 4, and 5 coming up against the closer, if you will, of the Sugarland team, Nick Rumbelow, a guy who's pitched in the major leagues with the Yankees and the Seattle Mariners. It's Hector Gomez, who's 0 for 3, Quincy Lattimore, 1 for 3 with a home run, and Richie Schaefer, 0 for 3, 3 strikeouts. There is upwards of 35 home runs between the 3 of those hitters on the season. As Hector Gomez steps in to face Rumbelow, we are underway in the ninth inning. Rockers need 2 to tie. Gomez swings and fouls this one off hard down the right field side, and the count is 0-1 quickly. Rumbelow, a right-hander, will kick and deal, and that one is inside 1-1. You know, you look at the guy, and he's 6 foot, 190, not a very tall guy on the mound, but comes very much over the top with his windup, and that's where he gets the power. Gomez chops this one on the ground to short. Martinson picks it up, throws to first in time, and that's out number 1 here in the ninth inning.
Left fielder, number 22.
That will bring up Quincy Lattimore, hit a mammoth home run. Didn't necessarily go far, but he hit it high in his last at-bat in the 7th inning. That was his 16th home run, his 54th run batted in. And he's looking to help his club out here a little bit in the 9th inning as he takes ball 1. A home run here would not tie it as the Rockers trail by 2. They'd be happy even just having Quincy get on base. Here's the 1-0. It's in there for a strike. Obviously, if you're Nick Rumbelow, you don't want to give Quincy anything up, as they know what happens when you leave a pitch up on Quincy Lattimore. As he takes ball 2, he gets back to the backstop off of the glove of Cody Stanley. Count 2-1. North Carolina native from Apex, North Carolina. Richie Schaefer waits on deck. And here is the 2-1. A big swing from Lattimore, fouls it back to the screen. That was a swing that would have done some damage if he had hit that into fair territory. And the count 2-2. Had a nice evening for baseball here. As opposed to the last time we were here, we fought a little bit of rain. Here's the 2-2 to Lattimore. He swings and fights it off, just gets a piece of it, grounding it foul down the third base side. And the count stays at 2-2. Camp day tomorrow at BB&T Point for Game 2 of this series. Here's the 2-2 to Lattimore inside, and the count is full. Stanley thought that was strike 3, but did not get the call. 12 hours from now, these players will all be at the ballpark already, getting ready for an 11 o'clock start time. We'll bring you that action here on Spreaker and YouTube. The 3-2, Lattimore gets a piece of that one and fouls it off of Stanley's mask. Count stays 3-2. They're giving Cody Stanley a minute to collect himself. That ball was fouled straight off of his catching mask. Home plate umpire is giving him some time as Stanley keeps going into his crouch and then sitting back down. And here comes the trainer now and manager Pete Incaviglia. So they're going to check on Stanley, who surely is feeling a little woozy, to say the least, after pretty hard contact to the head area from that foul ball. They're going to leave him in there. Stanley, we mentioned the last time they were here, had a little bit of time with the St. Louis Cardinals. In 2015, went 4 for 10 during his brief stint in the major leagues. So a guy with some big league experience there. He's ready to go. Here's the 3-2. Lattimore again fouls this one off back to the screen. He's battling hard with Rumbelow in the 9th inning. That was the 8th pitch of the at-bat. In a battle here between Rumbelow and Lattimore. Who will cave and make the mistake? Here's the 3-2. Swung on and chopped down the line. Barehanded by Silverio. The throw to first base doesn't matter. It's a foul ball. And I think it's a welcome call there by Justin Burton, or for Justin Burton, the first base umpire. He's glad it was called foul, because that one, I think, might have been too close to call at first base to see whether Lattimore had beat it out or not. It was a high chopper, and Silverio picked it up. It was very close to saying whether it was on the line or not, the bounce before he picked it. It was definitely more on the foul side. I just cannot say from here whether it touched the line or not. So, as it is, the count stays 3-2, and Rumbelow kicks and deals. Lattimore hits this one high and foul. Silverio at third base giving it a look, but that one's going to get out of play. And by doing so, it was much more obvious that it was a foul ball than the previous. So the count stays at 3-2. Rumbelow kicks, deals. Lattimore hits this one on the ground back to a Rumbelow who fell down. Lattimore hit that, and Rumbelow was falling down off of the mound, but he made the catch at his knees and threw on to first base for the out. So score that one 1-3, and the Rockers down to their final out. Richie Schaefer, the hitter, who has struck out 3 times tonight. The new rocker, C.J. Rutherford, on deck. Rumbelow asks for a new baseball. And the Rockers will be asked to provide some more 2-out magic if they are to come from behind here tonight. Rumbelow kicks and deals. First pitch to Schaefer, swings and drives this one deep into center field. Going back now and stopping in front of the track and making the catch is Anthony Giansanti, and that is the final out of the ball game. Schaefer tried to give that one a ride, but it died in front of the track, and Giansanti made the catch. So that's the final score for tonight. The High Point Rockers drop Game 1 of this 3-game series to the Sugar Land Skeeters by a score of 3-1. So let's go ahead and take a look at the scoring breakdown for tonight. So first things first, in the 5th inning, solo home run by DJ Peterson gives the Skeeters a 1-0 lead, and they double up on that in the 6th inning after Anthony Giansanti singles and works his way around the base path. Dennis Phipps, an RBI single, brings him home to make it 2-0. 2-0. In the 7th inning, a busy inning, Peterson is on via a walk, is erased on a fielder's choice. That puts Javier Betancourt at first base. Betancourt steals second, reaches third on a pickoff throwing error attempt by Michael Bowden. And then a double by the catcher Cody Stanley scores Betancourt. And that sets up there. That brings in the third run of the game for the Sugarland Skeeters. Bottom of the 7th inning, Rockers get on the board. It's a solo home run by Quincy Lattimore to make it 3-1. But unfortunately for the Rockers, that is where things end. 8th inning, big time opportunity for High Point. They load the bases via a walk to Jones, a single to Alfonso, and Cardulo walked. Pete Incaviglia, the manager of the Skeeters, goes to the bullpen. Nick Rumbelow coming out for the 4-out save attempt, and he gets Jared Mitchell to ground out to end the inning. So the Rockers had a big opportunity to pick up the win, but unfortunately were not able to capitalize in the 8th inning. So if we look at the pitchers of note tonight, pitchers of record, Troy Scribner, Evan's brother, picks up the win, improves to 2-3. Nick Rumbelow the save. That is his 5th of 2019. The losing pitcher, Michael Bowden, that's his first loss of the year. He drops to 1-1. So if you're the Rockers, offense kind of let you down a little bit tonight. Still had really good pitching, but we did not see the offense tonight that we saw during that 6-game winning streak. So hopefully the Rockers can get that figured out and have that ready to go tomorrow. Remember, last Wednesday when the Rockers walked off on that error in the 9th inning, or in the 10th inning rather, they got some help. The offense showed up. They scored early and often and ended up scoring 6 runs in that game. So maybe there's something to be said about those early start times, and the High Point Rockers can see if tomorrow is just that. Maybe they can find a little midday, we'll say midday magic is what we'll call it. So again, the final score tonight is the Sugarland Skeeters 3, your High Point Rockers 1. We'll be back tomorrow, 11 o'clock first pitch. We'll be on air at about 10:50 on Spreaker and YouTube. Rockers drop game 1 of this series 3-1. For our fantastic control room and everyone else at High Point Rockers Baseball, I'm Kendrick Fruits, wishing you a good night, rest up, and we'll see you bright and early at the ballpark tomorrow.